o i ko kātoanga mo e polo kalama o tau iai e pongpongi ni. Iai e whakatapu mawahea doi pē, ko hui ko e Miss Heilala a lolo Tonga. Pe foki o tau heni pe mo e Miss Pasifiki, Miss Heilala Samuels, tau heni e tatalwhiwhia ki polo kalama. Kau while mui, e toko honfulu maa wha, po nau loto toa, ke nau kau ki Miss Heilala o e wanoa waono. E foki e tau kau whakamau, e kātoanga o e Raki kātoanga ini hono whamau i tau kau while mui. Whatongia mamafa uia mautolu, pe foki e tau kau ātita, kau pou, kau sponsor, mok mautolo ko toa peu tau kau whakataha i heni, whamafola foki he tau ngahi live stream, mea mai kia ia tō pure anga, a te whamalo lahi. Taitari whia ki mautolo, ki he polo kalama, ka koe interview. Ko raki polo kalama whamau i eni o tau kau whine mui, ko ia, a te taitari whia ka mautolo.
We would like to acknowledge the presence of God amidst us this morning. The attributes have been made. Maloi Laumalie, Maloi Lele. Honorable Semisi Sika, the Minister of Tourism and Infrastructure, also the Festival Director, Madam Chair Lady of the panel of judges, Mishka Tuifua, and judges. To the Miss Heilala, Sosiana Tamoepeau, Miss Pacific Islands, Heilala Samuels, our beautiful 14 contestants for Miss Heilala 2026. Former Miss Heilalas and contestants who are amidst us this morning, and everyone here in the room and those joining us via various platforms at this hour, Maloi Lele and welcome. We welcome our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to the Heilala Pageant 2026, celebrating our heritage, embracing our future. This is coming to you live from Tanoa International Dateline Hotel in Nuku'alofa. This year is truly a historic and significant year for our kingdom as we celebrate the bicentennial anniversary of Christianity in Tonga, 200 years that has shaped Tonga today. This has also brought people from near and far back home. This morning we begin our first judging event, the Pre-Pageant interview. It's my privilege to introduce your host for the Heilala Week, my co-host here, the Master of Ceremony, Melie Laumanu, and myself, Salote Sisfa, as your Mistress of Ceremony for the week. We have a full program, so let's make it memorable. Let's start with smiles on our faces and the Tongan pride in our hearts. To open our proceedings, I would like to now invite us all to bow our heads as we call on prayer to bless this event and the week's event. Our prayer offering for this morning, if I can kindly call on Bishop Kalapa from the 2nd Ward of Papua. Ko tau loto e kamata ake e tau wau e pongpongini, ko whaho asie na pisope Kalapa, ke kamata ake o wau loto ki mo patau hoko ato. Malo.
Tamai, anoi ka ea, ki loe ngutu o kulea, ke tālai langi, mo nge ia, e awhiona. E o tua mawhi ko mau tamai whahewani awhiona. O mau honga ia e pongpong whaafofa, o mau heni ai e marumaure whareni, o kamata anga o polo kalama, o Miss Heilala, hoi hoi fua, Tonga, o wawhi wano. O mau honga ia, o whakalaulau na tula, o whainga maaria ia mea hono toa pē, ka lawa ke mau whakatahataha mahe pongpongini, ke mau whiawhia whakataha, no kau misi hoi hoi fua o Tonga, o wawhi wano. O mau korea ke whaitapu ikina ki nau tolu, i pongpongini, Wa ngahi polo kalama, lawa ke nau kau ki ai. Hangahi mea te nau wahe wahe, wa ngahi popo aki. Tuku i ke hoko aonga, ki aki mautolu, mo i kakai o e whonua. Ke whai tāpo i kina e hau o Tonga, kai pehe ki ono whare. Whai tāpo i kina nge mua e minista o taki mamata. Kai pehe ki e toa ngā kau ngā ue. Ngai polo kalama ko nau whakotūtō, ke mau fia ai, i aho koe nita mai. Whai tāpo i kina nge mua si kau whakamau, ke nau maua e loto hounga ia. Wa hoko e nau whakamau ake alele i taha te nau lawata mai. Ke lawa ke fia ai, e kau misi hoi hoi fua e aho koe ni. Whai tāpo i kina nge mua ki mau tolu hono toa pehe maru e whareni. Tuke mau e fia, mo i nonga ai awhiona. Whai tāpu ki nāngi mua e kau sponsor ko toa pē, hoko atu. I ono whakahoko, mana mui e ngahi tare niti, o ki he kau misi hoi hoi fua o Tonga. Ta mai he wani ke whai tāpu ki nāngi mua. Ai aha whakaosinga, e mau polo kalama e pongpongini. Tu ke whakahauf ki mau tolu me ngahi whiri mo whai ngata ko toa pē, wa i hala whanonga anga. O mau kore whakamore ki a awhiona. E hulu molahe mau ngahi tō nou. Mau whakawhotunga kai hoa mo tau. Whakamore ki mau tōru. Ko lotu o ko whai. E hua whatoptapo si su koe kalaisi. Amen.
Tau koe koloa tāpuangi ko tau inasia i he pongpongini. Koe kai ngata pe hono tāpoki e polo kalama. Ka koe taim te mou tutuku atu ai ko toi tāpoki pe he piso pe malo o pito. Ake, ko tau polo kalama, te tau unua tai pe he, whawhi mai ai ek minista o e potunga o e tak mamata Tonga. Ka koe tare kita whokia o e tau kātoanga Heilala. O kāta ko paspasi mai, ono po se visika, malo. Moment, I would like to invite the Minister of Tourism and Infrastructure and our Festival Director, Honorable Semisika, for the welcoming and a thank you remark for you.
Malo, ko korke u whamalumalo hinga hi Tongatapu, kai whakahoko ate whatongia koe o e pongpongi ni. Ko e pongpongi whakawhawhain mo whakawhiwhia kei te au e ku wakai atu ko mo whotu mai o mo kei ngata pehe hoi fua e tau whanau koe ni mua ni ka kutoe ulo ange kau whakamau i. Pea pehe whok ke ngahi whae. Can you turn the sound up a little bit, please? Toki tu hake ku ki pongpong o sia. Ko e taimeni o ku whamaa opa o mau ngahi whatongia ki hono report ki he pureanga ai ngahi ngāu e whahoko e kau take whonua. Pa ko e taimeni o ku kamatai hono tātana ke ngahi iwi ki he kamataanga o e tau whapaanga hoko mai. Pehe ko atu e ku whamalo ka te moto. Whamalo atu ki he kau whewhine koe ni o ku nau bore taki pe nau mateuteu ke nau veipā ko hai hoko ko e whafofonga tongani i he wafe wano, wafe wafitu. Ko mau iwi, o ku whakakakata o pe e he keresa ai otua. Ka pai ai hangahi tōnou, pe mo hangahi whafotonga e kai ke tāu, o ko topu a kore whamore at pēo tai nimi he rak aha kone tau whea auhi. Ko le lei tahaini e mau whahok whatongia. Ko le lei tahaini e mau whiriwhiri ke nau hoko e kau whamau e toko nima koni. E nau whamau opo, ko e tau ola a whangatuku ia he hiri e kātonga koni. I he wike ko osi, na e whakapāsia tai pachet kona e whonua. Ke wahe iwe whonua ke ngahi pot ngā ue ai pureanga ki hono tauhi pēr mo hono tokanga i ki tau tō. E pot ngā e tak mamata na e pāsia e pachet ko e 5 miliona. Ko ua miliona e au ke tau tawhak whamaketi, pe koe ni marewa ki he ngā ue me whatongia, ai pot ngā ue ki hono, whakanofo, mohono tataki, pe mohono purei, o e tau ngai ngā ue whatak mamata. I he ua miliona ki he whamaketi, mahalpena ko hasirin lahi ke hani i. I he tau whakatatau koe ki ngai Automotive Pasifiki, ki Fisi, was whaia tu he whangawhul tupu, USD, million, to market, Fiji. I he toenga i Pasifiki ki Cook Island moa Amoa, o kuna wawhiofi hake he hongo full miliona. Maybe less or maybe more. Mahinu be whaka Tahiti, Vanuatu, mo Papua Niki. Ai koe ngai whanua ino tau whi au. Time go toa pe o ku fie wholaua mai ai ha taha i Iulope, e sia, pe ko Amerika Tonga, pe ko hawhitu pe i mamani, ai tahi Pasifiki, ko whewhitu te nau alu ki ai. Tau ua miliona, kai hongo full miliona i toanga koe. Ai ko whamalo at kuhi, ko ki motolu ka inga tonga. Ko konga lahi ek tau tolhen ko ka inga tonga. Ko motolu o mohanga o whakakakato, e tau tae kakato. Make he mei he tāsirin lahi. Ko mamanawa mui tonga niu o ki homu afnima. O mo tāma e sirin lahi, mi whangeau, ni mangeau miliona, e tau. Ko mi vai ua e patseti kon ko hono tonga e fonoan. Pene pehe ko mau ki iwi whakamāketi e whakangata begi he ua miliona. Ko hae mea e ua miliona e whai ke au ki mo e whanoa miliona, mo e ua noa miliona. Aia ku pau ke mau ngā ue mate aki tuiaki, ki hono tuaki atu e fonua. Whakarelei e fu fonua. Whakarelei e destination. Build and develop the destination. Build public facilities, tourism infrastructures, upgrade the products. Ko homo lava mai, ko mo toru au mo whakaao e 1 miliona, ke ofi hake he 8 miliona. E ko whamaloa te mo toru. Ma ke me tau i hen koen ki whahauka pau. Ko whanga maari en ke te au ki whamaloa atu, ka tarot whita ko mo toru mo ai waha mai me muri. Ko e o mai, ko e kau, ke o mwhanau ke o mai, kau he porohalama. Pea mo whok mai ki ngahi whanua topanga. Ko e ongo whanonga o mai ki he motoan, ma wongo sia he whotu, ko ki patsetu o mai ki hui ki Heilala, la vei tō tāko toa, la vei pehe he former CEO e tak mamata, la vei katoa he nihi koe ni, ko Joey and Lise and Atolo Make and Verna, they've been judges, they've been judging over the past years, and paku nau ilo i lelei ho tau iwi, ilo i lelei pehe o MC. Aia koe konga lahi koe o kulea at koe he pongpongi ni, kai ke ngata pe ko hon whaloto lahi ka koe whamalo mo whakahonga. Ko hia ko homo kau mai. O mai e tunu tāka whakanonga, mau o ngoi, neongo sisi o tau iwi, tau whaamfo ke aie moe, ka koe fo ke malawa, he ko tau iwi o kui tā whaki e taha. Koe te ke hen me tau programa Tanuhala. E bot ngāwe, ko tau patset Tanuhala, koe hongo 1 miliona. Koe fie mau ko e kakai, i he aha moe. Ko whitaulakat me kakai market, i wafu, i malaiwa kapuna, i he wharekoloa, i a wheitu, koe kore Tanuhala. Koe fie mau ko whakafuafua mai, e fie mau he teo miliona ia. Koe i vi, koe hongo 1 miliona. Koe hae tau me e whai, ko paupe ke tau tuhani, ke noi, o tau e whanua masiva. Pa te tau whai whapotopoto pe o whatatau, mo tau wiwi ngā ue, mo mea tau mau. Koe ai ko whahauka te talamonu, ko mau i vi e ngata angae, e mau teu. Kai ato no, ko kore whamono more atu, o whapete tau ngā ue whakatahape i he keres ai eiki, ko e whakarelei pe mo e loto maa, mo e o te fusio whamama o pehe au Lady Maria, o tau tābe mo laka. O se ange tāu mo e tāu ai pe ngahi loto mamahi, kau tau tābe mo laka. Ko ia ko talamonua ki he kau whiwhine hoi fua koe ni, na mau kamata mai ake amanak lelei, koe ni ihi kotoa koe hau mei muri. Ne mau e vai ua tō lai koe ni. Pao koe hange kou kai ke fu, ke fu kakato e mau pou i tonga ni. Pa nau mau whailewa ngā Whewave, ko hono uingaki mai ni ihi koe ni, o toi tānaki mai ai mo e vai. Ka koe au tau hen, ke tau kātoanga whawhiewhia, ke mou whiohi, pe tau whelanga aki, e tau ngahi wā, koe whaamiri, koe kainga lotu, koe tangatai whanua, mo whewhinei whanua tonga. O whātua te mō tōru, kātoa ko lawe ia te ngahi whawhonga anga maheni, ma ngahi whawhonga koe tāloe e tau whakahau whatongia he fu whakamuna koe ni. Koe ongongo si a pe mo hela ia. Koe ki hataha e aha ni monu ia. O ku whai māteak ko toa pe ake o whawhonua. Ko Lady Maria ia pe mo Charlotte Lilo. Koe tau e nie tolongo furu. Koe kamata mai koe he wiki Heilala. Osi koe whoku mai koe mi Hawaii mi hako. Ko hape ko le holo kau holo he kau. He opa koe ni whotu toa. O e pe koe ni ko hoko koe kau taki. O festival koe kakai ina nao. O hao mai o asi mai ai mo ni i. Ko mepa. Moi ot mi San Francisco, māloi wheilau. O maheni ka te au, ke puri peunga ka te au ho mo ngai wheilau, mo ngai ngāwe mateaki. Ko ngāwe ka lo se whai mon. Former contestants, ai koe ni ihi koe ni. And then I'm happy to see Caroline Makakaufaki, one of the former contestants back in 20 years ago or so, yeah. But go look forward, ki hoi whei loaki, pa mo ni ihi o ka former contestants and former Miss Heilala i he weekendi ko ta we tolongo futup Lady Maria e tau whea mai mo whanau ko ni pa ku tau mahene lei i he tau hoko ko toa ko Tonga ko langa ho tau whanua masiwa tala monua me ofalahi.
Mrs. Sika, with welcoming and also thank you. So that was 2 speeches in one, and you were allowed to do that. We hear from the Honourable Minister's speech the frustration, however the passion and the love that's there, and our takeaway from his welcoming and thank you all in one is, despite what little means we have here in Tonga, it is the love of our country that has carried us all this 200 years and throughout this pageant. So thank you, Honourable Misika. Continuing on, to host Heilala Week is no small feat, and to make this happen, it happens because of the generous support of those in financial aid. So this moment, we would like to acknowledge those who have sponsored the Heilala Festival 2026. The acknowledgement of sponsors, supreme sponsors for 2026 is the Government of Tonga and Fiji Airways.
For our elite sponsors, MBF Bank, the Tanoa International Dayline Hotel, BSB Bank, Chinese Embassy, New Zealand High Commission, Fehoko Arts, Tonga Statistics Department, 5 Star, and New City.
For the platinum sponsors of 5,000 Paanga, Digicel, Lion Liquor and Tonga Cold Store, Friends Cafe, Tonga National Reserve Bank, and also the Australian High Commission.
For our gold sponsors, we have Tonga Airports Limited, Chef Zero, Builders Burger, Star Rentals, Sunshine Rentals, Tonga Chinese Federation, Hot Pizza, and Little Italy Hotel and Restaurant.
And for our silver sponsors, we would like to acknowledge M&J Water Rank Company Limited, Nuku'alofa Outrigger Canoeing Club, the Ancient Tonga Anahulu Events, Liu Guest House, Whato Mafi Finance, Siekafa Media, Whato Mafi and Kava Trading. That is our silver sponsors.
And for our bronze sponsors, we have Vaitohi Enterprises and Wilco Hardware. Please, can we have a big round of applause for our sponsors to make it happen, Marlon.
As acknowledged at the beginning of our program, for this first judging event, we have our judges. And at this moment, we'd like to acknowledge and introduce our panel of judges for this evening. The chairperson of judges, can I kindly ask Mishka Tuifua. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Ms. Mishka Tuifua is the chairperson of the Tonga Tourism Authority, a government agency that focuses on marketing Tonga as a premier tourism and investment destination in partnership with the Ministry of Tourism and Tonga Tourist Association. The Heilala pageant offers a powerful platform to showcase Tonga's uniqueness through our brave and beautiful contestants, and the Tourism Authority is a very proud supporter. With executive leadership, experience across banking and government, Mishka champions tourism as a driving force for Tonga's economic growth and is honored to serve as chairperson of judges for the Miss Heilala 2026. Mishka Tuifua.
And for our 5 judges for this morning, we have judge number 1, Joey Mataire. Jolene Mataire, fashion designer and founder of Jolene HTP Designs, former Miss Heilala Pageant coordinator, executive director and co-founder of Tonga Ladies Association, and since 1992, human rights activist for 35 plus years, entertainer, Polynesian dance choreographer, and a beautician. Co-founded the Tonga Ladies Association in 1992 and serves as its executive director. In 1993, established the Miss Galaxy Pageant, a cultural pageant to celebrate ladies, and while independently raising funds by local HIV education and community welfare projects, and the Tonga Ladies Association have awarded 84 scholarships since it started in 1992. Beyond her 2016 U.S. Women of Courage nomination, Joey Mataire's contributions have earned several royal and international accolades. Silver Jubilee Medal in 1996, bestowed by His late Majesty King Taufa'ahau Tupou IV for humanitarian support of disability and sexual minority groups. Order of the Queen Salote Medal 28, awarded by His late Majesty King George Tupou V for services for Tongan royal family. Light Award in 2018, presented by Queen Elizabeth II in recognition of exceptional volunteerism and community impact. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Mataire.
Our second judge for this morning's event, we have Liz Sullivan. Mrs. Liz Sullivan has been a director of Novelist Pacific Trading Limited since 1995, and following the completion of her education, Liz remained in New Zealand, where she built a successful career across a range of hospitality and administrative roles, eventually serving as an administration manager at the Auckland City Abattoir. In 1995, she returned to Tonga with a vision to build something of her own, starting with Billfish Bar and Restaurant, from humble beginnings into one of Tonga's most respected hospitality establishments. Today, under her leadership alongside her family, the business has grown to include Waterfront Restaurant and Lodge, Lion Liquor and Tonga Cold Store, Davina House, and a number of commercial and residential properties. More recently, with her children now working alongside their parents, the family business has expanded internationally with the opening of a branch in New Zealand. In recognition of her outstanding contribution to business, Liz was the first Pacific Island woman in Australasia to be nominated as a finalist for the Commonwealth Women Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2015. Beyond her achievements in business, Liz is deeply passionate about protecting Tonga's natural environment. She is a dedicated advocate for preserving our forests, marine life, and the majestic whales that grace our waters, while also championing the importance of safeguarding our rich cultural heritage and traditional values for future generations. With her wealth of business experience, commitment to community, and love for Tonga, we are honored to have Liz join us as a judge for this year's Miss Heilala Festival Pre-Pageant interview. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important with these backgrounds just so you have a fair idea of who we put in your panel of judges. Ladies and gentlemen, Liz Sullivan.
Please welcome our judge, Mr. William Takau. William Takau currently holds advisory roles for the New Zealand Trade and Enterprise and the Tonga Tourism. He is a former CEO of the Ministry of Tourism and former General Manager of the Tonga Tourist Authority. He also volunteers on a number of boards, including the Tonga Rugby League, Tonga Federation of Boxing, and the Equippers and Ex-Community School Board. While he may be a person with many hats, his most favorite hat is that of a father for 4 children. Please welcome William Takau.
Our fourth judge for this hour, we have Verna Nuku'alofa. Verna Nuku'alofa is the Pacific Area Manager for BYU Pathway Worldwide, where she collaborates with governments, educational institutions, employers, and community organizations to expand access to education, workforce development, and meaningful employment opportunities across the Pacific. Verna holds a Master's of Business Administration and is a proud graduate of Brigham Young University, Hawaii. And during her time at BYU Hawaii, Verna performed for several years at the Polynesian Cultural Center, an experience that has deepened her appreciation for cultural diversity and fostered lasting international relationships. A proud daughter of Tonga and my neighbor, she is passionate about empowering others through education, service, and leadership. Verna is honored to serve at this panel of judges and looks forward to celebrating the confidence, the talents, and potential of Tonga's remarkable contestants. Ladies and gentlemen, Verna Nuku'alofa.
And for our judge number 5, Atolomake Helu. Atolomake is a prominent Tongan educator, musician, and senior lecturer in music at her Atenisi Institute in Nuku'alofa. She is heavily involved in continuing the legacy of their father, the renowned Tongan philosopher and scholar Putahelu. She serves as a senior lecturer in music at Atenisi Institute, a mezzo vocalist, and has performed in international venues, including Sydney and Auckland town halls. Her focus on observing and traditional Tongan arts of Whaiva. She has also served as the Institute's Vice Chair. Please welcome Atolomake Helu.
And lastly, for this panel, I'd like to introduce our scrutineers for this morning's program. First scrutineer, Nirashan Desanyak, the Manager of Operations of the MBF Bank. Nirashan Desanyak's background, senior banking and operational professional with over 20 years of international experience across banking, financial services, and corporate operations in Tonga, Papua New Guinea, and Sri Lanka. Currently serving as a senior manager, banking operations at MBF Tonga, with responsibility for operational governance, regulatory compliance, and process improvement. He started banking career with HSBC in Sri Lanka in 2005 and has accumulated more than 15 years of banking experience across leading institutions including HSBC, Nations Trust Bank, National Development Bank, Union Bank of Colombo PLC, and MBF Bank, complemented by senior executive roles in Papua New Guinea. He holds an MBA from London Metropolitan University and professional certifications in retail bank management and private banking, known for his strategic thinking, strong operational execution, strong decision-making, governance excellence, customer focus, and sustainable business growth. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the good hands of Mr. Nirashan Disanyaki.
And of course, last but not least, our second scrutineer, Pateri Vailea. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Information System from the University of the South Pacific, have 3 years of banking service as the head of payment at the Bank of the South Pacific, Tonga Limited. Please, again, a round of applause for Pateri Vailea.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and as we move into the deep waters of this morning's program, just some housekeeping matters as we move forward. We'd like to ask all of you present today, if you could please switch off the volume of your phone. Note that there is live stream here from Television Tonga and also Broadcom. So for those of you that would need footage, you could take it off there so that our program can run smoothly. We ask that there be no noise or distractions while the contestants are making their presentations. And if you must leave the room, please do so during intervals of the presentations.
Malo, ke tau unat ki he kamata tau whi auhi. Ko whangi whamanatu pe whangi mea pe ke tau manatui ko hi he lava ke tokoni, ki he lelelelei, o lele matangi e tau polokalama. Kapau kata ki ukaha mongahi telefoni pe mongahi nau wha elektronika o kulongoa, tatangi, kata ki o tamtei, pe ko e tuhifo pe ke silent pe. Ki kata ki o whasisi pe halongoa, i he lorotonga, o e whakahoko e ngahi polokalama ko ia e kaumisi. Pea, papau ku ke whie mau ke mawahe mei lokini, e ha whahinga taimi atu koe ni, pa ke kātaki o taritari ke osi, ke wahaa koe o e whetongi e kau misi, pa ke tō kua e kitua. Ko wiki oua e hohaasi, a e lorotonga e whakahoko e polokalama. Malo.
Just so that we're all on the same page and understanding in terms of the method of judging that will be used by our judges for the pre-pageant interview, firstly is the dress code, which is the Tonga national attire. The criteria used will be elegance and eloquence, the presentation and expression of topic, the quality response to questions, the in-depth knowledge of topic and intelligence, and also the clarity of speech and emotional control.
Koia koe ngahi poini te fito, o anga koia hono whakamau i, o ike tau wakai pe kiai, ke rotonga rere ai polokalama. Ula ki pe koe teunga whakatonga. Koe rotonga koe au hono whakahoko e polokalama e nau ngahi konga, aki ai whakalangi, whaeiki, ka pau e te mō whakatonu ki ai. Koe anga hono whakahoko, i hono whakahoko e nau ngahi kaweinga. Koe anga a hono whakahoko ia i he tuunga o he tari koe ngahi whehui, ke nau mao e loto lahi. Koe nau ilo ki he kaweinga koe nau whakahoko, pea,
This category, please note, is judged on the contestant's overall presentation. Essential is her ability to interact socially and to communicate confidently and knowledgeably with the questions that will be asked. Contestants will be given 5 minutes for their presentation, and during which they'll be asked at least 2 questions by at least 2 separate judges.
Koe ngahi kaweinga koe nau whakahoko, au ke nau whakahoko aki ai loto lahi, pea moe loto fia. Whaluku fuan pe ki ai. Pea o kuange nau tak minite nima ke whakahoko aki e nau polokalama. Pea I he taim tatau pe e toi hoko atu mo e whehui e ua, me he ongo whamau ke pe e ua. I he kawenga ko iau nau whahoko.
The scores from the pre-pageant interview and the onstage interview will be combined to determine the recipient of the Best Interview Award. Each contestant has 5 minutes once again for the interview. The first bell will signal 30 seconds remaining. The second bell marks the end of time, and the third bell indicates you are 15 seconds over time.
Ko taimi. Tukuanga tukoe ke whahoko anki ai e nau presentation ko e milite nima. Tā turewa ki whawhangu whakatokanga he toe se kone tolu noa. Tā turewa ki whawhangu I he kakato taimi. Tā rema ki whawhangu ki katolu mahino rewa iau ke owa ke se kone taha nima. Ka koe interview koe ni e tānak whakatahaia mo interview koe he pōwhainolo.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, and also contestants. We've set the tone for this morning. Without any further ado, I would like to now call on our first contestant who will begin with us. And of course, you note they have all pulled the topics that they will be presenting on and which the interview will be based on. Ladies and gentlemen, our contestant number 1, Ms. Taliki Fisi, Mele Kafatu Wilingia Malafu, and her topic is on sports.
Whakatapu ki e tau tamai oku awhio I Hewani. Whakatapu ki e ne awhio tupo ono. Moe hoi ki hono katoa. Whakatapu ki e kau whakamau. Whakatapu ki e Heilala Committee. Whakatapu ka unga Heilala competition moe nahi tuanga hono katoa. Oku tunu ke whakatapua. God is good. All the time. Good morning. My name is Mele Gafuatu Vilinia Maafu, and I will be discussing the role sports has in our community. Sports are not just an organized, competitive, physical activity. It is a way of life. Participating in sports allows for a healthy lifestyle. Simple jog for 20 minutes after a meal will help your physical health. read your Bible, pray every day, and you'll not only grow physically, but also mentally, and most importantly, spiritually. Malo apito.
Thank you, contestant number one. Meleka Fo'atu. How are you enjoying the weather here in Tonga?
I'm loving it. I'm from Arizona, so I'm dealing with the hot sun all the time.
Fabulous. My question is going to be totally the other side of reading the Bible and grow. Okay? All right. How can we encourage more young girls in Tonga to participate in traditionally male-dominated sports?
On our family and God. So if we often pray and just reach out and lend a helping hand, but also to have the rugby players have a helping hand with the young women and teach them a few moves and just offer a word of encouragement, we can. Thank you.
Standing up there in front of everyone, but you've done very well.
Thank you.
Team sports are proven to build character. How can sports program be used to keep youth away from crime and antisocial behavior?
Sports can be used to keep away generations and people of all ages away from crime and other activities by simply building a routine, having a routine, simply just waking up in the morning, having your breakfast, and then also finding some leisure activities that putting your time into other things and keeping yourself busy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tarikifisi. Mere kafoatu piringi ma'afu. Please welcome our contestant number 2, Ms. Tikaway, Creations 2026, Miriane Urotufietau Brown. Her topic is on domestic violence.
Preparing her presentation this morning, just reminding all of you here, our second judging event will be happening this evening at Atele Indoor Stadium at 7 p.m. this evening. And for those of you that are watching from home, do take note that Atele Indoor on the top, which is, I would say, the best view, it's free. So you're more than welcome to join us this evening. It's the Tau Olunga competition of all the 14 contestants. That's this evening at Atele Indoor. Also happening this week, we have the Wrongware, the Talent, the Island Creations, and of course, rounding up the week with the Heilala Ball happening on Friday. So for those of you who cannot join us this morning for the pre-pageant to invite you, starting this evening at the Atele Indoor Stadium. You're more than welcome. For those of you who are not joining the tables of the sponsors and those on the ground, you're more than welcome to come join us at Atele Indoor Stadium on top. We have 14 beautiful contestants here and families who have traveled near and far to compete in this event. I believe our Mystica Way is ready with her presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Meliane Bulot Fietau Brown on domestic violence.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry about the delay. Tapu mo o tua ne a whio I ha taulotoloto ngani. Tapu mo ka inga kotoa. Tapu ki he sola mo e vungani. Kai ata ki te au ke whakahoko atu a leani. The topic that I was given is on domestic violence. Tā me whakamamahi I api. As Tongans, we are a people founded upon ofa, love, whakaapa-apa, respect. Tauhi wā, nurturing relationship. Tui ke otua, faith in God. The values shape who we are as people and how we care for one another. These values guided our ancestors for generations and were reflected in the leadership of Her late Majesty Guinsalo Tetupo III, whose life continues to inspire us to lead with humility, compassion, and service to others. There is a Tongan saying, "Koe ofa, mo whakaapa-apa, koe makatuunga ia, oi nofolelei." Love and respect are the foundation of peaceful living. Yes, today many of our mothers, daughters, sisters, children, and even fathers and sons continue to suffer behind closed doors. Domestic violence is not simply a family issue, it is a national issue. It is a human issue. Domestic violence is any behavior within a family or intimate relationship that is used to harm or intimidate a person. It can be physical, emotional, It can be physical, emotional, psychological, or financial. At its core, domestic violence can take away a person's sense of safety, dignity, and freedom. Earlier this year, our nation mourned the heartbreaking loss of a 43-year-old mother of 4 from Vava'o following a domestic violence incident. Our nation prepared to celebrate Mother's Day. 4 children instead faced life without a mother. One act of violence changed generations forever. Sadly, this tragedy is not an isolated incident. According to Tonga police, 767 domestic violence cases were officially reported in 2023. By 2024, the number had risen to 865 reported cases, an increase of 98 cases, or nearly 13% in just 1 year. Whilst nationwide statistics for 2025 and 2026 has not yet been officially released, these figures remind us that domestic violence continues to affect families across our kingdom. Breaking statistics is the ones that we have not counted or measured. And these are only the statistics on reports that have been on cases that have been reported. Many survivors never come forward because of fear, shame, financial dependency, concern for their children, or pressure to keep silent. Behind every statistic is a face. Behind every number is a mother, a father, a daughter, a son, a child longing for a place for peace within their homes. Yet despite these challenges, there is hope. Across our kingdom, organizations such as the Women and Children Crisis Center have become a refuge for survivors of domestic violence. Through counseling, legal advocacy, outreaches to the outer islands, they have restored hope to countless families, and their unwavering commitments reminds us that healing is possible, and that no survivor should ever have to walk through, never have to walk through their journey alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tikawe. My question is, if a close friend confided in you or shared in you that they were experiencing domestic violence, what would you do to support them?
Sorry, could I clarify that question again?
If a close friend shared or confided in you that they were experiencing domestic violence, what would you do to support them?
What would I personally do to support them? Yeah. I was raised in a household that whatever comes your way and whoever it is, you treat them as family. And I'll do my best to support them. And luckily here in Tonga, we do have organizations that are here to help them as well. For example, like I had mentioned in my speech, the WCCC, the Women's and Children Crisis Center. They've got organizations and they've got safe houses ready to help with everything as well. And for me personally, I would hear them out. I know that most of us just, especially going through domestic violence or going through some difficult times, they just want to be heard. And yeah, thank you.
Ms. Takeaway Creation, thank you for your presentation this morning. And my question for you today is, this week or this month, Tonga has been celebrating the 200 years of Christianity. And in your presentation, you spoke of love and respect as the foundation of our homes. Yet domestic violence continues to claim lives of women and mothers in these homes. So can you tell me what must change so that these values are not only taught, but that they're truly lived in these homes? What must change? What must change so that the values, the respect that you talk about in your presentation is not just taught in the home, but is truly lived?
What must change? In my own opinion, the thing that we should look at mostly would be we must teach our children that home is your first school, and you should also teach them it's also your safe space. It should be the place you should feel the most safest in. Like for most children, especially in domestic violence incidents, they don't feel safe at home and they try to find it in other places. But with these things, we try to advise and encourage them, teach their kids young, because they are the future generation. Yeah, thank you.
President number 2, Mystica Creation 2026. Thank you, Miliane Pulotu Fietao Brown, on her topic, domestic violence. As our panel of judges are just rounding up their marking for this morning. I have the honor of introducing our contestant number 3 this morning, Miss Ministry of Infrastructure, Larila Veronica Tuiniwa Ngalu, and her topic that she'll be presenting on this morning is education.
Tulo atu. O ko kole ke hufanga e whatap ko o tono whaki, ka take whahoka to glea I ka winga o ako I helea wha Britania. Ko ka winga, ko ako, ko mama ke ka hao o Tonga. Education, the light of Tongan's future. When we hear the word education, many of us think of classroom, teachers, and books. But to me, education is so much more than that. Education is the little girl who wakes before sunrise and walks to school carrying dreams that are bigger than her circumstances. It is the sacrifice of her parents who work tirelessly so their children may have opportunity they never had. Education is hope. This year is especially meaningful as we celebrate 200 years of Christianity in Tonga. It reminds us that our nation's journey has always been guided by faith and knowledge. More than 150 years ago, our beloved King George Subo I found inspiration in the words of Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, "Ok au hahoku kakai ko masiva ilo." To him, this was more than scripture. It becomes a vision. That is why he gave our people a constitution. That is why he made education free and compulsory. Because he believed that the greatest wealth of a nation was never its land or its resources. It was its people. His vision for Tonga is beautifully reflected in the 5 guiding fingers of the hand. Lotu, our Christian faith. Ako, education, leading us toward wisdom and opportunity. Whakalakalaka, progress and development. Tukufakaholo, our cultural language and tradition. Tawataina, our independence. This principle are not only the legacy of King Tupo I, they are the foundation upon which continue to stand as Tongans. We know that education does not begin at school. Ko api ai uluaki abiako. Before we ever learn mathematics or science, we first learn respect, humility, service, and faith. We learn what it truly means to be Tongans, because education is not about filling the mind, it is about shaping the heart. It is about today. I believe King Tupo I's vision has been fulfilled in remarkable ways. Tonga has produced an extraordinary number of highly educated people across the world. They are living proof that the seed King Tupo I planted generation ago has borne fruit. Today, our challenge is no longer a lack of knowledge. Our challenge is ensuring the knowledge continue to build Tonga. Many of our pride mind leave our shore because opportunities overseas often greater recognitions, better career pathway, and the chance to fulfill their skills and expertise. This is not because they love Tonga any less. It is because they are searching for opportunity to fulfill the potential that education has given them. Perhaps the questions we must answer now is, how do we build a Tonga where our educated people can return, thrive, and help build the nation they love? As Ministry of Infrastructure, what does infrastructure have to do with education? To me, they're inseparable. A child cannot learn in a classroom destroyed by a cyclone. A teacher cannot reach school if a bridge has collapsed. A student cannot succeed without school and resilience communities. Every school we build, every road we improve, is an investment in the future of our children. At the Ministry of Infrastructure, we build with concrete and steel, but more importantly, we build opportunity and we build dreams. This year theme is celebrating our heritage, shaping our culture. To me, there is no greater way to celebrate our heritage than by honoring the vision of King Tupo I. And there is no greater way to shape our culture by raising a generation that is educated, compassionate, humble, and proud to call Tonga home. Because education is not measured only by degrees we earn, it's measured by the lives we change and the community we strengthen. I dream of a Tonga where our children are free to chase their dream around the world, but always know they have a home worth returning to. A Tonga where knowledge does not leave us, but comes home to build us. Because the greatest legacy we can leave behind is not only educated mind, it's educated heart. Heart guided by lotu, enlightened through wako, strengthened by whakalakalaka, grounded in tuk whakaholo, and protected through tawataina, so that every generation may proudly declare, ko atua mo Tonga, ko hoku towhia, malo pito.
Thank you, Ms. Minister of Infrastructure, Ms. Lorella. You mentioned in your presentation that you think education is all about feeling the heart. What would you do to change in the education system in Tonga to achieve the feeling the heart?
Thank you.
Guided by the 5 fingers that you presented to us. Thank you.
For me, for example, my fingers as I guided is lotu, wako, whakalakalaka, tuk whakaholo, and tawataina. Ways that we can change Tonga to feel that education is all about feeling in the heart is that we put in our mind, in our heart, that we're going to chase that dream. For example, we put on platforms that it will help us change how Tonga thinks that we're small, as how it says Tonga is whakakaukau sisi, for example. I need to change that mindset that we can do everything. That, for example, that when we put it in our heart, we work it. Faith, work together with, if we have work without faith, we can't achieve that. Thank you.
Hi, Lorella.
Hello.
Are you nervous?
Not
Don't
really.
be. How will you use your platform if you are crowned Miss Heilala to advocate for stronger integration of vocational trades, digital literacy, and traditional skills in our schools? Do you want me to repeat that?
Yes, please.
How will you use the platform? In case you are crowned Miss Heilala, how would you use this platform to advocate for stronger integration on vocational trades, digital literacy, and traditional skills in our schools?
Okay, thank you. For me, if I will be crowned and be honored to be a Miss Heilala and try to help younger children to, with my topic in digital or in traditional, right? For me, I will put on a platform that that will make generations be more like what's the word? Ai hame au whakaai ki nau tolo ki nau te matua ke ngai ako ke mahu inga maria ke te nau tolo ako o ka matahangi ko mention ko api ai ulua ki api ako. So if kabau te tau ka mata me api ai ulua ki api ako, I think it will be more important to the generation pe mahino ke ona loto. Education is very important. I tu whakaholo, reminding who they are, that they are Tongan, mo ngahi tuk and then when we all get it together as platform, kene tohoaki ange toka ngai tau tupu ke mahu inga o education.
Thank you.
Malo opito, Ms. Ministry of Infrastructure, Larila Veronica Tuiniwanga. Let's welcome our contestant number 4, Ms. Anana, USA. Ms. Rachel Rian Reed. Her topic is technology.
Honored guests and cherished families and friends, I'd like to thank our educational resources for our Tongan youth, advance Tongans' healthcare, and give our local Tongan businesses a platform to market for themselves. For instance, sites like Airbnb, guest homes have given Tongan landowners the ability to rent out their properties and increase tourism in Tonga, thus benefiting our economy. Additionally, advancing Tongan's healthcare tech not only improves public health, but also drives economic growth by creating job opportunities to support local families. Another benefit from technology is using it to bridge the gap between generations and maintaining anga whakatonga. It can be utilized to capture stories for our elders and their upbringing in Tonga, thus sharing their practices with our Tongan youth and keeping our rich culture alive. Technology can also be utilized to preserve our Tongan language with online teachers. While it may increase the global visibility of our heritage, it is important we still encourage those to visit Tonga and see it firsthand. While in some cases, with our unregulated screen time, technology can contribute to an increase in screen addiction and social disconnection. However, in many cases, it has also maintained connections and assisted Pacific Islanders to keep in touch with their loved ones overseas. Examples like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp all have contributed to keeping families connected and uniting extended families. From my own experience growing up overseas, I was introduced to technology at a young age, and I've seen the benefits and the growth that it has on the economy around me. So I know it can have a positively impactful effect on Tonga to have as well, if used in a beneficial way. Going back to the point I made of using technology to share our culture and heritage, as for myself, not growing up on the island of Tonga, I always felt some sort of disconnection. I can attest that growing up with technology at my fingertips helped me learn more about my Tongan culture. It also gave me a peek of what home looked like and allowed me to feel close to my heritage even through a screen. This motivated me even more to come and see Tonga for all its beauty for myself. Through social media, I've been able to see streams, just like right now, videos of family, the beauty that is posted for tourists, and the grace and significance and religion that Tonga has. As for the last remaining monarchy in the Pacific, technology can help not only promote, but share the story of the friendly island, which I had with others growing up. In summary, technology's connectivity serves as a stewardship. To be utilized will provide itself as a community blessing. There is a saying that everything happens for a reason. I do believe that we are blessed with new opportunities and given tools to help us access these blessings awaiting. It's truly how we proceed to access and use it that can determine the positive outcome and that can be connected to technology for Tonga. Mahalo apito.
My question to you as a Ms. Heilala pageant contestant, with technology, social media, what can you do to be helpful and advise youth about how to use this in a positive way to encourage them in education, as it is a form of when they're walking with their phones as a laptop for education and learning skills? What would be your question? What would you tell them or encourage them about the positive of technology?
Thank you for that question. I do believe that education is very important. And growing up, all the tech was around us and everything like that. To have a system or a platform installed while in school to teach the kids how to use technology properly, I know can benefit them very well. To teach them the positives, the negatives, and how their words can really, what they put out in the internet can really affect somebody. What I would tell the youth is to be mindful of everything that is put out, because you never know. But I do believe that having that taught in school is very important for when they're young, so that when they get older, they know more of what they're using, that it's not just some toy, but it can go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you. In your presentation, you actually touched on tourism and the benefits of technology to economic development. If you could create one technological innovation to help tourism in Tonga, what would it be and why?
Thank you for the question. I have a true passion for the elderly and the stories that they have. If I were to create something, it would be a platform where we have our elders tell their stories and record it so that we can hold on to it. But for the tourist part, to have it online on social media so that they can come and experience, so that people can travel and come experience who that person is that told that story and what they have to show and their upbringing as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your contestant number 4 there, Miss Anana USA, Rachel Rihanna Reed, on her topic, technology. I have the honor of introducing contestant number 5, Miss Ewa Tourism, Betiola Samantha Tongyasi Paula Jr. Siwa Masila, and her topic chosen is preservation of indigenous culture.
Paloveape, Vahewowa Pesion. Hako ia tamasi I halau totonu. Kene aluai. Pea kane motua. E ikai tene mawahe. Mei ai. Maloelele ko hingoa ko Petiola Samantha Tongisia Paula Siwa Masila. Oko whafofonga e atua e Miss Ewa Tourism ki e wanoa wano foi mea ni koe ki toi pau ua koe ko tangia ki hue lau Maria iau. Kore ke hufanga ngai tala whakatapu kua oso no awhaki. Ka ata mo o ke ulawe at ke kawenga nai. Whai ke ai a ahoi ane nai. Aia ko kawenga pehe. Preservation of indigenous culture. Preservation kono uhinga te whakatonga te koe ke whaasai e lea whakapapalange kau ewa. Aia kono uhinga koe malu I tau hi ke malu pea pasi ke puke mao. Koe intinin mea pehe irifia. Koe culture aia te utala noa ki he lea aia koe ta koe lea whakatonga mo lea whakaniua he koe lea koe ni koe tuku whakaholo I he e tau tui whakalotu o kau ki ai e tau kahoa koula o e tonga koe wha I kawe koula e tau mahu inga e tau historia, e tau whanua me tō o ngā mo ui ai Tonga. Aia koe no o tatao wala I wheitu kotoa. Ka more alea, e more whanua. Pe kono toi ai ke mahino ange, ka more alea whakatonga, ka more ai peia e tau whanua whakatui. Ko ka kupu ilea koe ni kone whakamahino mai, mo whakamanatu, koe tau lea tonga o mahulu au pito. Ia I he tau whepo Talanoa aki, he koe tā eni e mafu e tau whangakui, pe koe e tau whaunga ia e tau tuku whakaholo. I he e kulea I he pongpongini, te tā whataha pe ke tā whaaki, mahu inga taha, aia koe lea whakatonga. Hangi ko ke hela I pe pahek tu imu ai no lau. Koe lea, koe whaunga pe koe tupu anga ia e tau tuku whakaholo. I he lea, ko hono pāsi a oi ilo, pe koe knowledge, e tau whangakui ki e whangamoko puna, aia ko koe pia moau. Through language, we express respect, love, and our identity as Tongan. Koe rea tonga, koe koloa mahu inga. Tau ngata I he kwaito ilo hoko atu ko ngalo me ai. Whela ko mai me e ua ko.
Malo a pita Miss e ua. Whakawhiawhia mau pe ki tau tolu. Ko whehu I pe I he pongpongini na ke Talanoa ki he rea whakatonga. Pea moe ngahi tuku whaholo. Kau tau ilo I pe alpe taimi moe al moe whakalakalaka. Ai whonua koe ni. Te ke lava o talamai pe koe haha whaunga te tau lava tau himau ia e tau rea whakatonga. Moe tau ngahi tuku whaholo. Ka tau teu pe whehangangai moe ngahi lili o ka hao.
Taki lau I mai ka atake te wha.
Tau ngahi tuku whaholo. Ka tau teu I pe mo e tau tau tupu. Ke nau whehangangai moe ngahi lili o ka hao.
Ia. Kia te au, tu kani e toi kea me fo Italia koni me wheheu I. Kia te au koe mea peke tau whai koe. Taimi ko tupu hakai whanau koe nau ke iki. Ako ne ki nana ki nau tolu. Pea Talanoa ka nau tolu ke nau ilo ngahi tō o ngā whaka. O ngā. Hai. Ui ngā, ako ne kina ki nau tolu I tō o ngā whaka whanua atonga. Ko ia pe. Ai peke ngā tāna a kai haua tamai ki uruntai e nau rea.
Malo Miss Ewa Tourism. Oh, I love you so much. Koe ki whehu I pe. Koe hae whatongia o tourism ki hono puke puke mo tauhi ke malu ai ngahi nau o tuku whakaholo mo tau.
Ia ko whakakau pe ke whehu I ko ia. Tuko ne te patingi pe mo mea te pe ke mau whaitari. Taki whakamai no me ka take.
Tau pepe o kuke whahok whatongia i a Ministry of Tourism i Vaakoia i Ewa. Ko ha a whatongia o potu ngā au e tak mamata ki hono puke puke a e tau ngahi nau tuku whakaholo mo e culture koena ki tala noa ki ai.
Ko whakakaukau ki ai, ko e... Ore wau kata ke whakakaukau ko me iau. Ko whakakaukau ki e whehui ko e nā ko e... Whakarele ha polo kalama. Ha polo kalama a e takmamata o hinga ke whai moa ki ia ko ai. Ko ia. Te wala api la. Oh, thank you.
Mahalo. Thank you very much. Miss Ewa Tourism, Betiola Samantha, Togiasi, Paula Junior Siwa Masila. Thank you. Let's welcome our contestant number 6, ladies and gentlemen, Miss SNS USA 2026, Lava Lava e Kakala Hingoa Rijo Heida Esau. Her topic is climate change.
Hange osi pe de nervous like itaya he hanga Miss Ewa ai tau toke tau kata. Kai ngā malo mo lelei. Kole ke o wha mal wat pe i ngahi tala whaatap ko osi hono a whaki. Ka whaata nge mua e pai ngani. Ke whai ato ha whaalawe ki he kaweinga ko whakau na akita ke hoa koe ni. Pea tuk pe whok ke o whahoko atu i he lea whakapiritania. Imagine yourself at Whamotu Airport, holding your loved ones close as they prepare to leave. From the terrace above, voices rise in heartfelt goodbyes, worlds filled with love, courage, and the promise of reunion. Even as tears fall, there is a powerful reminder: bonds of family and community endure across distance, and hope is stronger than sorrow. Hold that feeling in your heart for a moment. It was with that same spirit of hope and determination that I embraced my topic last week, climate change, building a resilient Tonga. Because while the challenges we face are real, they do not define us. What defines us is our strength, our unity, and our ability to rise together as people of Tonga. I have seen the resilience of our people, especially in my homelands, my home villages, Talafo'o, Makaonga, Nuku'alofa, and all the halatahi. Their daily struggles are not just stories of hardships. They are stories of courage, of communities refusing to give up, and of a nation determined to protect its future. As a little girl, growing up here in Tonga, along the shorelines of Talafo'o, was a life of adventure and discovery. I remember sneaking out with my cousins to swim at a very high tide, whāngota at low tide, and crying when they scared me with a beva. Climbing frangipani trees for flowers, and stealing galon kakala from my grandmother's garden to make kahoas for our whakamuna. Riding at the back of my grandfather's van to go to the bush, but instead of helping him, we would climb the orange and guava trees and enjoy the free fruits. Those memories are treasures, reminders of a Tonga where joy and abundance flowed from the land and sea. But now, when I return to my villages in Halatahi, I feel a bittersweet sadness. The shorelines creeps higher every year. The waves that once brought us joy now threaten our homes, our crops, and our way of life. The ocean, our eternal provider, is changing. The buah galasipani by my childhood house blooms less often. The gaonikakala that once perfumed my grandmother's home is gone. And the orange and guava trees no longer bear the abundance they once did. Yet, even as I witness these changes, I see more than loss. I see a calling, a call to protect what remains, to restore what has been damaged, and to imagine a future where our children can laugh again by the shoreline, climb trees heavy with fruits, and breathe in the fragrance of flowers that bloom freely. Climate change is not the end of our story. It is the challenge that will define our generation. Ensure that Tonga's story is one of resilience, renewal, and hope. Climate change is not a distant threat for Tonga. It is our daily reality. Rising sea levels, stronger cyclones, saltwater intrusion into our farmlands, and coral bleaching are not just environmental issues. They are challenges to our survival, our culture, and our future. But we are not powerless. We are a proud people with deep traditions of resilience, unity, and stewardship of the land and sea. Building a resilient Tonga means combining our ancestral wisdom with modern science, our community spirit with innovative solutions. Let me suggest some 3 pillars of resilience for Tonga: strengthening our communities, protecting our environment, building partnerships, and securing resources. At the beginning, I asked you to imagine yourself at the Fuamotu Airport, holding your loved ones close, feeling both the sorrow of parting and the strength of hope. Today, I ask you to carry that same hope into action. Let us commit, not tomorrow, someday, but today, to act, plant a tree, restore mangroves, teach our children the value of the land and sea, support renewable energy, stand with our neighbors. Every action, no matter how small, it is a step towards resilience. Malopito Nuku'alofa.
Miss Lava, you talk about partnership. While climate change impacts everyone in our region, vulnerable groups like elderly people, LGBT community, people with disabilities, and remote outer islands community are often struggle most to access emergency warnings, right? How will you use your platform to ensure our climate adaptation plans are truly inclusive and leaving no one behind?
Thank you. In my speech, I did talk a lot about working together and unity. When we talk about climate change, I know to address these issues, we cannot do it alone. And I believe in the fact that if we work together as people of Tonga in addressing the issues of climate change, using the platform to really help our people and connect with them and their perspectives on climate change, and really help them understand climate change and how it can affect their lives. And therefore finding solutions and ways to be more prepared for the impacts of climate change. Malo pito.
Thank you for that. That was a lovely speech. And that's my passion, climate change and environment. And as a young ambassador for the youth, as everyone looks at the Miss Heilala contestants as ambassadors, it's very important for you to all realise that you are leaders. and everyone's watching. We have our part and you have yours. So the question is, what would you two do to educate the youth as well as the people about climate change and our role and what we can do to make a difference? As I speak to you now, there's probably an old or high tree that has been chopped down, or a mango tree, or tamalina tree, people throwing rubbish in the ocean. What would you do to help everyone in the kingdom and the world about educating regarding climate change?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Liz. I believe that what are ways that we can educate our people is create trainings, especially for preparing for natural disasters. I believe if we create trainings for our people and really talk more about climate change and its impacts, we can really help them understand climate change, like I said before. And I believe when they understand climate change, they will avoid contributing to the impacts of climate change, like throwing the rubbish, littering, and using too much plastics, as well as burning the rubbish, because we see that here in Tonga. And I just strongly believe if we really just talk to our people and help them understand climate change more, it could really help them, because our people play a huge role in building Tonga. And so if we really connect with them, we can really help each other and become climate warriors. Malo pito.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Miss SNS USA 2026, Lalava Kakala Hingor Rijal Haida Esau, on her topic of climate change. Before we continue on to contestant number 7 on our pre-pageant interview, we would also once again like to acknowledge the presence of this hour, our current Miss Heilala, Sosiana Tamoipeau, who's done a fabulous job for the year. Sosiana, it was no small feat leaving your home and residing in Tonga and just being an ambassador for our country on so many platforms, not just you, but also your family, your grandma, who has been there for you and your parents. And we'd like to acknowledge Sosiana. So ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our Miss Heilala, Sosiana Tamoipeau. Also in our honor this morning, Miss Pacific Islands, welcoming you to our shores once again, Miss Ailava Samuels, Maloilele, and thank you for joining us in the 2026 Heilala pageant. With that now, we would like to continue on with our pre-pageant interview. It's my honor to introduce Miss Hapai Tourism, Maria Stella Koinonia Kaihea, and her topic is youth unemployment.
Tapu ki ha moiofo, moho oi ki oi whanua. Tapu at ke tonga koto. Whatap ma ke heni, ke kau ngā whewhine, o ngā loto lahi ke nau kau whataha he Heilala o tauni. O kou kole ke uhu whanga he talaka kato e whanua mo lotu. Malo e tau mao ke aho whakoloa koe ni. Pea kou kole ke u whahokope e kulea I he lea whakapilitania. Mo e kaweinga youth unemployment. Imagine being an 18-year-old and choosing to work to support your family instead of pursuing further education. That young woman was me. This is my story. It is also the reality of many young people in Tonga. Today, I stand before you to speak of youth unemployment, not just as an issue, but as a lived experience and a challenge we must overcome together. Youth unemployment
a growing issue that affects many countries around the world, including the Pacific Island nations, such as Tonga. A topic that is very dear and close to my heart as a youth. What is youth unemployment, may you ask? It refers to the situation where young people who are willing and able to work cannot find jobs. Generally, the term youth refers to people between the ages of 15 to 24 years. Youth unemployment is a major concern because young people represent the future workforces and leaders of society. When they are unable to find employment, it can have serious social and economical consequences. There are several factors that contribute to the youth unemployment. To begin with, there is often a lack of job opportunities in many developing countries. There are not enough jobs available for the growing numbers of young youths entering the workforces. Second, a skills mismatch. Many young people leave school without the skills or experience that employers require. As a result, employers may choose experienced workers. Thirdly, rapid technological changes have transformed many industries. Some traditional jobs have disappeared, while new jobs require social skills that young people may not yet possess. And finally, economic changes, such as recession, natural disasters, and global crisis, can reduce employment opportunities for everyone, especially young workers. Youth unemployment can have significant impact on individuals and society. For young people, unemployment can lead to financial difficulties, low self-esteem, stress, and loss of motivation. It can also delay important life goals such as further education, marriage, and starting a family. For communities, high youth unemployment can contribute to poverty, social inequality, crime, and migration as young people leave their home countries in search of a better opportunity. Economically, countries lost valuable talents and productivity when young people are unable to contribute their skills and energy to workforce. Addressing youth unemployment requires cooperation between young government educational institutions, businesses, and communities, encouraged by supporting young people, encouraging young people who are unable to contribute their skills and energy to workforces. One solution is to encourage entrepreneurship by supporting young people who wishes to start their own businesses. Government can also create employment programs, internships, and appreciationships that provide young people with valuable work experience. In addition, business can offer training opportunities, entry-level positions that help young people transition from education to employment. In conclusion, youth unemployment is a serious challenge that affects individuals, families, entire nations, while the costs are complicated. Solutions are better education, skills training, entrepreneurship, job creation can help address the problem. Investing in us, young people of today, I assure you, we can build a stronger nation and brighter future for generations to come. Io, tamatonga, tu'u ngā aue, hokoloa ke whakamonu. Loto ki e iki maupe, ke ne pōpō I he lotu. Koe whekauia ke tau lotu mo ngā aue. O ko ofalahi atu mo tala monua ke tau tupu kotoa o Tonga. He koe kahau o e ahoni, koe whanua ia o e kahau. Ofalahi atu, malo au pito.
Amen, Ms. Hapai. No, thank you for that very informative presentation on youth unemployment, which is one of the big challenges that the kingdom is facing. My question for you is, what role should tourism play in addressing youth unemployment in Tonga?
Thank you for your question. I would say the role for tourism is for youth unemployment. I would say bring more job opportunities for the government to give chances for the youth to be employed. Even small businesses that they can give more jobs for the young youths.
Malo.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. And this is something that is we're very passionate about, is youth unemployment and education. But my question for you this morning is, what can we do more here in Tonga to help young people find jobs? There's opportunities that are coming into Tonga that are remote jobs, which are companies overseas that employ people here in Tonga to work for companies overseas. So my question is, what can we do as young people to prepare for these opportunities?
I would raise awareness of entrepreneurship. For the youths, I'm sure everyone has a talent. We're not all skilled to work for the government and stuff. So using our talent, I'm sure we're able to find our own part-time there. As for me, I am a barista in a coffee shop, so that is my passion in making coffee. Yeah. I think the key word is just be humble with what you have. Maybe we start small, achieving what we have, we'll go on as we go through life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Whamalot ki he Miss Hawaii Tourism, Maria Stella Koinonia Kaihea. Thank you very much. I'm sure that as our contestant progress with our presentations, the rest of us are enjoying. Me, myself, I have added more knowledge on these topics. Thank you very much. Now, we would like to welcome our next contestant, number 8. Contestant number 8, Miss Masani Connect, Ministry of Tourism. Thank you, Faiva I Hakau Titawake. Her topic is drug trafficking.
Maloilele and good morning. Please excuse my voice today. I think you have the harder job of trying to hear and understand what I'm saying, so good luck. Drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is the illegal production, transportation, distribution, sale, import, and export of controlled substances. But it is more than the movement of drugs across borders. It is an organized criminal trade that profits from addiction, weakens communities, and turns human suffering into business. At first, this topic may sound like a matter only for police, courts, customs officers, and border security. But in truth, drug trafficking reaches far beyond law enforcement. It crosses oceans, into homes. It enters schools, families, churches, and the lives of young people, leaving lasting harm in its wake. According to the United Nations World Drug Report 20 64 million people lived with drug use disorders, yet only 1 in 12 received treatment. And for women, only 1 in 18. It reminds us that while drug trafficking generates enormous profits for organized crime, those profits come at the expense of human lives. This shows us that drug trafficking is not an isolated crime. It is a global crisis of health, safety, dignity, and human potential. For Tonga and the wider Pacific, this issue is especially serious. Our islands sit across vast ocean pathways. What once felt like distant protection can now be exploited by criminal networks. The World Drug Report warns that methamphetamine trafficking has increased in several small island countries across Oceania and the Pacific. It means the Pacific is not only witnessing the global drug crisis from afar. We are part of the route, part of the risk, and therefore we must be part of the response. This reality has also been acknowledged by our own national leadership. At the opening of Tonga's first national symposium on illicit drugs in 2021, His Majesty, King George Tupo VI, reminded us, our beloved country is no longer free of drugs, but rather very much part of the global struggle against illicit drugs. This is not just a problem for the police to deal with. This is a national issue that requires an urgent, integrated national response. His Majesty's words remind us that drug trafficking is not merely a law enforcement issue. It is a national issue that demands the commitment of families, churches, schools, communities, government, and every citizen. Criminal networks do not see our islands as sacred homes. They see routes, they see markets, they see opportunities. But to us, Tonga is not a route. Tonga is family. Tonga is faith. Tonga is heritage. Tonga is the place where generations before us taught respect, service, humility, and responsibility. Drug trafficking attacks these values. It weakens families, tempts vulnerable youth, increases violence, burdens our health system, and places pressure on communities that are small, close, and deeply connected. Families are torn apart. Young people lose their dreams and their potential. In a large country, one statistic may disappear into a report. But in Tonga, one affected life is a family name, a village story, and a future interrupted. As a Whiwhine Tonga, I believe our response must begin with wisdom. Those who traffic drugs and profit from destruction must be held accountable. Our justice system must protect our people. Those who fall into addiction must not be treated as disposable. They are still sons and daughters who carry divine worth. They need treatment, guidance, accountability, and a path back to dignity. My answer to drug trafficking is built on 4 principles: prevention, protection, partnership, and compassion. Prevention means educating our youth early before traffickers reach them and before addiction takes root. Protection means strengthening families, schools, churches, law enforcement, and our borders. Partnership means Pacific nations working together because no island can confront a transnational crime alone. Compassion means helping those already affected to heal, recover, and return to lives of purpose. So I leave you with one question. What kind of Tonga do we want to leave for our children and future generations? Will it be a Tonga weakened by drugs, violence, and broken families? Or will it be a Tonga built on faith, strong family values, compassion, and hope? I believe the future of Tonga need not be written by the hands of traffickers, but by the courage of its people. Our heritage teaches us who we are. Our responsibility is to protect who we are becoming. Malapita.
So what kind of Tonga would you like to see in the future?
I would like to see a Tonga where we explain to our youth, our people, the whys of why we want to protect Tonga instead of just the what. Because It is one thing to tell people not to do this or not to do that. But if you explain to them the why, help them to have pride in their country and what it is that we are building here in Tonga, that will encourage them, especially the young people, to protect their choices and to be stronger, build strong moral characters and be able to be great leaders, contributing members in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Becky. Your question at the end of your presentation goes with my question.
Okay.
The Pacific has increasingly been described as an international superhighway for drug cartels transshipping. Illicit substances like methamphetamine, cocaine to larger markets. So, as an ambassador or a youth ambassador, how would you balance the need for stricter border enforcement with community-led rehabilitation programs to save the next generation from the devastation of drug use or abuse?
I think as an ambassador, I should focus on things I can realistically influence. And that would include raising awareness, prevention, partnerships, and youth empowerment. I think it's very important that we start to have these important conversations. It may be a little uncomfortable and scary at times, but I think by starting to have these conversations with each other, we can come together as a collective and work towards a solution. And I think this applies to all the topics that my contestants have spoken on, is that the most important thing we do is to start speaking, but not to just stop there. It is important that we follow through with action and try to see measurable results, outcomes, results. And if we are not seeing that, then it is important that we take the steps to ensure that we're making progress, that there is something happening, some change, some progress, because that is how we can see a better Tonga.
There we have it, Ms. Masani Connect, Ministry of Tourism, Dek Whaiva Ihakau Tuitavake on her topic, drug trafficking. It is my pleasure to switch sides of the room and introduce contestant number 9. We have here Ms. Tonga Australia 2026, Antivenyana Taliauli, with her topic, Labour Shortages in Pacific Countries Due to Seasonal Employment Schemes. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Atmenyana Taliauli.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine arriving at Heilala Hospital only to discover that there are not enough nurses to care for your loved ones. Imagine children walking into Fasi Primary School only to find that there are no teachers waiting in their classrooms. Would we call that progress? Labour shortages are not simply about vacant jobs. They are about the well-being of our people, the resilience of our communities, and the future of our nation. Today, I invite you to reflect on one of the Pacific's greatest opportunities and one of its greatest leadership challenges: labour shortages in Pacific countries due to the seasonal employment scheme. While this issue affects many Pacific nations, today I will focus on Tonga, drawing on my perspective as Miss Tonga Australia and as someone committed to strengthening the future of our kingdom. At its heart, this topic asks one important question: how do we balance the opportunity abroad with resilience at home? The programs has created significant opportunities for both Australia, New Zealand and Pacific families. For Tonga, these opportunities have been life-changing. Research from the Development Policy Centre at the Australian National University found that Tonga now earns more through labour mobility with Australia than from Australia aid and trade combined. That tells us that our people have become one of our nation's greatest economic assets. Yet every opportunity also brings responsibility. Contrary to what many people may believe, Tonga is not running out of people. Rather, we are experiencing shortages of the right skills in the right places at the right time. While seasonal employment contributes to this challenge, it is one of several factors requiring thoughtful workforce planning. Labour shortages extend far beyond employment. They affect our essential services, businesses and families. Healthcare providers face ongoing challenges in retaining experienced nurses and other skilled professionals. While labour mobility has improved many families' lives through remittances, it has also required sacrifices through long periods of family separation. These realities remind us that labour mobility is not simply an economic issue, it is also a social and a human one. So how should Tonga respond? As a nation, we should not view this issue as a choice between labour mobility and national development. Instead, we should ask how labour mobility can become a driver of national development. Tonga has already recognised this challenge through its labour mobility supply management strategy, which seeks to strengthen workforce planning while continuing to embrace labour mobility. This balanced approach also reflects His Majesty King Taupo VI's vision of embracing the benefits of labour mobility while strengthening Tonga's workforce at home. That commitment is strategy in which supports both opportunity abroad and resilience at home. As Miss Tonga Australia, I have the privilege of understanding both the opportunities labour mobility creates and our shared responsibility to strengthen communities at home. To me, this is not a question of choosing between Tonga and Australia. It is about strengthening the partnership between them. When we work together with shared purpose, labour mobility becomes more than employment. It becomes an investment in people, stronger families, and a more resilient Pacific region. Understanding the issue is only the beginning. True leadership is measured by the solutions we are willing to pursue. If we want labour mobility to strengthen Tonga for generations to come, I believe our response should focus on three priorities. First, we must empower our people. Second, we must strengthen Tonga's workforce. And third, we must strengthen regional partnerships. Earlier this year at the 2026 State of the Pacific Conference, Samoa Naomi Mata'afa shared a vision that deeply resonated with me. I want a Samoa where people want to stay and where they have a stake. I share that same vision for Tonga. A Tonga where our people are free to pursue opportunities abroad, but where they are equally inspired to return home, invest their talents and help build a stronger nation. Our ancestors crossed the Pacific Ocean in Baka, guided by courage, wisdom and hope. Today, Tongans continue that journey in search of opportunity. That challenge before us is not whether our people should leave. The challenge is ensuring they return with greater knowledge, greater experience, and a greater hope to strengthen the nation they proudly call home. Our responsibility is to ensure every opportunity contributes to a stronger Tonga, because our greatest resource has never been our land, nor our oceans. Our greatest resource has always been our people. Malapito tuafato.
Thank you for that. I believe you've answered a lot of questions with your speech. Labour mobility is a double-edged sword in the kingdom. Economically, it is a blessing where it's helping families as well as building their homes, educating their children. But for the economy of businesses and government as well, we're suffering. How would you a plan together to assist government, who is the doorway to this, to help the economy and also keep people here so they have jobs within private sector and within government?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I do agree with you that the Labour Mobility Scheme has become one of Tonga's greatest development opportunities. It indeed has helped improve the lives of thousands of people, having provided a valuable income and a valuable work experience, and restricting those opportunities would not address the real-life challenge. The evidence suggests that, as I said, is not an experience of shortage of workers, but rather the shortage of the skills and the experiences that we need in Tonga. One thing I did observe while coming here to Tonga was that a lot of our business owners are from overseas. And I think that many of our locals don't actually understand or realise, acknowledge that there is potential and growth in Tonga. As an example, my media team, my brothers, they started their business, their media business, when they were straight out of high school. No, they weren't given any education around that. They didn't go to school. They learnt that by themselves.
Can I just stop you there for a moment?
Yes.
Can you answer my question, please?
Sure, sorry.
Actually, 80% of Tonga businesses are Tongan-owned.
Yeah.
So please answer my question.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry,
you.
apologies. Could you just ask that question again to clarify?
So in short, what would you do to encourage government to put a scheme together that can also keep labourers here and skilled workers here as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. So one of the things I would suggest and recommend that our Tongan government put together is that we actually really focus on in the education, vocational sector of how we can train our youth, how we can mobilise the skills that they need to pursue their dreams. As stated before in the example that I had suggested, so many of our youth have the potential, but they don't have the resources that they need to pursue those dreams. And I say that in the example of my media team, they weren't given the opportunity to learn filming and cinematography. They had to learn that on their own. And so I believe when the government does implement programs that's implemented into schools where they can learn the skills that they need rather than going overseas, maybe bringing in overseas people come to Tonga instead, and implement workshops where they can teach and train our students, or even provide scholarships to our students to go overseas and come back with new knowledge. They can therefore use those skills and knowledges in pursuing their dreams and, of course, teaching other younger people as well.
Thank you for the lovely presentation. I've said in a lot of presentations in the past couple of years of the challenges the tourism industry is facing, losing a lot of hospitality workers, and I've been involved in these programs. So if you want to talk to the tourism industry about the positives, I mean, how can the tourism industry actually benefit from the labour mobility if you're selling this to the tourism industry? Wow.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think the tourism will benefit from the labour mobility scheme. Firstly, because it allows people to, first of all, address the fact that if we show people, our locals, as I was corrected by the judge, 80% of our businesses are Tongan locals. If we showcase more of our businesses and our locals and in advertisements, campaigning that really, and actually not just showing it on TV or Instagram or we always see those commercials, but actually going out to them and actually gain their stories and experiences for how they actually built up their businesses and the skills and knowledges they were going through to start their own business. We can foster that knowledge and promote more people to, I want to also start a business as well. I say that in the fact that there is an emphasis on storytelling in our Pacifica culture, and when we put that not only to our older generations to tell the stories of our culture and traditions, but how we can implement that in storytelling in our businesses, I think that way we can help the tourism promote that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Miss Antivenia Natalia Uri, our Miss Tonga Australia 2026. Well, there are 5 more. Only 5 left. If you are blown out by their knowledge today, this afternoon, wait till you see their Ta'olunga this evening. So we invite you again to Atere Indoor Stadium tonight for their Ta'olunga. Now let's continue on. Let's introduce our next contestant, number 10. Contestant number 10, Miss Apraxis, New Zealand 2026. Kathleen Monica Soana Vayatangtau. Her topic is tourism. Tope tau toko nima. Kapau pehebe nau poto I he ngahi topiki koi ni, whawheki mo tolu ke nau tau olunga ke a fiafi. Adere Stadium, malo.
Sorry, before we continue, can I just get everybody to stand up, please? Just because we've had a long... Everybody, please. Just have a little stretch, and I want you to turn to the person next to you and say, you look lovely today. Okay, thank you, thank you. You may all sit back down now. Tapu ki he tolu tahai o tua. O tua ko tamai alo mo lau mali e maoni oni. Sen tulieni e ua o ke lesi ko ia. Mo e tui ko ia ho tau pule angani. O ku katau katoa ngai hono tuku whakaholo. Pa aku ne whalu te hakahau e tu uloa mo kaukau a whakalangi. Distinguished guests, judges, my fellow contestants, ladies and gentlemen, ho'eki mo tau ka inga. Welcome to the Kingdom of Tonga. Local time is 12 p.m. and the temperature is 26 degrees. May you enjoy your stay here in the friendly islands. Imagine Polynesians' traditions are proudly preserved, and where every visitor is welcomed like family. The Kingdom of Tonga is one of the South Pacific's best kept secrets, offering an authentic island experience unlike any other. Tourism is a powerful contribution in the economy of many nations. Here in Tonga, it generates 11% of our GDP and sustains about 9% of total employment. That's about 4,000 jobs. Ecotourism and adventure tourism rise internationally. For instance, in Vava'u, it is known for whale watching. In Ewa, tourists can captivate vantage points like the Li Angahuo, the sandy beaches of Ho Malai in Ha'apai, and the Funga Vailahi in Niua Fo'o, and the Vaigo Niutoua in Niua Tongatapu. Families are the heart of our culture. As our motto, Tonga mo'unga ki he loto. We Tongans live, work, pray, worship, celebrate, laugh, and cry together in families. Togetherness is what we are longing for. Family and social tourism fits nicely with the celebration of the 200 years of Christian faith with the Free Wesleyan Church Conference participants, visiting historical landmarks in Hihifo, known as the landing site of Christianity in Tonga, including Whangolua, the memorial plaque for the first sacraments at Nuku'alofa, and the memorial e Akoteu Nastaleti in Golovai, for Tongan extending it to the outer islands. We as Tongans are the real hearts, yours and mine, shared with the other tourists. Hearts beating in tune with our families and our faith and with love. Tourism is just as much as your responsibility as it is mine. From your crew, contestant number 10, Miss Approxus New Zealand 2026. Thank you for flying with Air Tonga Masani. Nuku'alofa atu.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. As you mentioned, tourism is everyone's responsibility, right? So what can young people do to help visitors enjoy Tonga while keeping our country clean and beautiful? We've been here the last 2 weeks, and what we've noticed is just how clean it is.
Yes.
And what can we do as, what can we do to help the young people continue to help visitors enjoy all of our tourist attractions at the same time keeping our culture and our kingdom clean and beautiful?
Thank you for the question. I think running little initiatives as just like the previous campaign that the Minister of Tourism ran, the Masani Connect campaign, the purpose was to direct the message for hospitality, a motivation to push these young people as well as their families as well to work together to welcome the locals as well as the visitors coming from overseas. Thank you.
Thank you. I really like how you said that families are the heart of our culture. And our culture is the heart of tourism in Tonga. How are you going to promote to the people of Tonga, because you said it's togetherness, that heart is the core context of our culture?
Thank you. To me, one of the strengths that us Tongan people have is tali tali kakai lele. We are known as the friendly islands. To me, to capture the heart of people, when you first encounter at the airport, it gives them a warm feeling and leads them to coming not into the country but persuading other visitors as well to come with their friends and their family as well. That's the motivation behind by just that's a way of bringing in more international as well as domestic visitors.
Thank you.
Contestant number 7, Miss Approxis New Zealand 2026, Kathleen Monica Soana Vayatangtao, on her topic of tourism. Moving on with our pre-pageant interview for this hour to contestant number 11, it is my honor to introduce Miss Lady Maria Tonga Australia, Silia Sitoafa Matelau. And her topic of presentation for this hour is digital safety and cyberbullying amongst youth.
Malora malie aho eiki, moelele e tonga kotoa. Ko kuhingoa ko Silia Sitoafa Matelau. Today my topic is digital safety and cyberbullying amongst the youth. And before I start, I just want to acknowledge the 4 pillars of our Tongan culture. Mamahi'i mea, loyalty and passion, lototo, humility, and the 2 that I really want to focus on is whakaapapa, respect, and tauhiwa, nurturing relationships. Today, our youth in Tonga are living in 2 completely different worlds. One physical, of our schools, their sports, communities, and homes, and then one on social media. Both influence identity, confidence, and well-being. Social media has created opportunities for connection, education, and expression, but it has also created new spaces for harm. While harsh words face-to-face come with many consequences, harsh words that can be typed through a screen can affect our youth in the safety of their own homes here in Tonga. Now, what is cyberbullying? Harassment through comments and messaging, body shaming, public shaming, rumors and gossip, and fake accounts. Research shows that 1 in 3 people globally have been affected by cyberbullying, and these effects are long-lasting. Victims are more likely to have anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Use of social media for our youth increases every single day, and they're exposed to a lot of good and a lot of bad, which makes digital safety even more urgent for our islands. If we leave our youth with no safe spaces, no support, and no one to listen to, it will only put the leaders of tomorrow in the dark and isolated. The context for Tonga: we are very strong communally, and reputation matters deeply. Gossip can spread very fast with our small communities, and online harm can feel very inescapable. Thankfully, Tonga has been very proactive in increasing awareness of digital harm through legal accountability and stronger moderation of public online spaces. An example is the Electronic Communication Abuse Offenses Act in 2020, and one as well is limiting commenting on many live streams, even like the Heilala event that I saw last year. And I'm very thankful for this because me and our 14 contestants here are very protected, and we feel honored to be here and be welcomed and be able to represent and share our dreams confidently and not to be very afraid of what might come. We are already being judged by each one of you, and it's a lot to be faced on the big screens as well. So malo apito for that. And my own experience, having built a social media platform, I've witnessed both encouragement and harassment in my years. I've learned that online voices and many voices in this world should not define my identity or any of yours. I choose not to give power to the lies because I know who I am, whose I am, and the identity that I stand on. Youth of Tonga and everyone listening here today, as we acknowledge the 200 years here in Tonga, celebrating grace and faith and Christianity here in Tonga, be rooted in who the Lord has made you. Your identity is only found in Christ. So when you listen to the voices on social media and messages, it's lies. It's a lie from the enemy. You're each created for a purpose, and you are beautifully and wonderfully made. So to end this out, holopetu'u he koe ngalu e fasi. Stand firm, for the wave will break. Malo apito.
It's all right. I was taking time so you can get your emotional.
Thank you.
You need to be stronger like your sponsor.
Look at her. She's crying too.
Digital safety and cyberbullying amongst youth. As social media becomes central of the lives of Pacific youth, we are seeing a rise in online harassments and cyberbullying. How would you use your platform to advocate for safer digital spaces and teach young people how to protect their mental health online?
Malo apito for the question. With my social media platform, I've always made it, I need to be real with everyone. And so I don't just show the glitz and glam. Even with this Heilala journey, I chose for it because everyone goes through something in their life. We're we can be very strong, but there's always we need to be here in Tonga longer and to teach the young people how they can use it even better. I would love to do that.
Such a powerful speech with regards to cyberbullying. Social media, as we know, connects us, but it also hurts us. And if we're not careful, it affects our mental state as well. Cyberbullying is very real, and with that, and the youth, we have a lot of suicide. How would you teach not only the youth, but everyone about proper etiquette with regards to using the social media?
Just thinking about anga whakatonga and how as Tongans we hold that respect and tauhiwa with nurturing relationships, that it leads into every sector of our life, including social media. So that Tongan proverb of laying out the mat and making safe spaces to talk about arguments as well and things that happen within our family, I believe is very important, rather than jumping on Facebook and just going at it and talking bad about our family when we have disputes. That can not only affect the one person, but it affects the whole community, because as Tongans, we don't just go as one. We are a community. There are many people behind me as well. And so, did I answer it a bit? I think I lost it a little bit, but malo apito.
Thank you very much, Miss Lady Maria Tonga, Australia, Siria Sitoafa Matelau. Now let's welcome our next contestant, number 12. Contestant number 12, Miss Nuku'alofa Resort, Melelupe Hongosia Piutau Tongi. Her topic is Matelau. Now let's welcome our next contestant, number 12.
Pasifika person, steadily increasing in size with each passing year. The beast I'm referring to is the cost of living and inflation in the Pacific. Today, I invite you to look this beast in the face as we explore what feeds it, how it affects our people, and the practical solutions that can help us tame it. Allow me to take a brief moment to hone in our beloved kingdom. According to the International Monetary Fund, which is an organization that helps countries maintain stable economies, the projected inflation rate of Tonga in the current year, 2026, is 3.8%. While this figure is lower than the high inflation experienced in recent years, it does not tell the whole story. Many Tongan families continue to struggle because prices for essential goods remain much higher than they were before the pandemic, while wages have not increased at the same pace. So what exactly feeds this beast? The Pacific faces unique challenges that make the cost of living higher than in many other parts of the world. Our islands are geographically isolated, meaning that much of what we rely on, from food and fuel to medicine and construction materials, must travel thousands of kilometers by sea or air before reaching our shores. Thus, I present to you my first critical point in understanding inflation: importation. Tonga imports the majority of its essential goods because these necessities must cross vast oceans before arriving in our ports. Every increase in global shipping costs or fuel prices is eventually reflected on the shelves of our local stores. We are not merely paying for the product itself, we are paying for the journey it took to reach us. The consequences extend far beyond economics. Families are forced to make difficult choices between paying for food, electricity, school supplies, or medical care. Small businesses struggle to absorb rising operating costs, while farmers and fishermen spend more simply to continue earning a living. Although wages have increased in some sectors, they have not kept pace with these rising expenses, leaving many households with less purchasing power than they once had. Fortunately, every beast has a weakness. One of the greatest opportunities for Tonga lies beneath our very own feet, in our own soil. By investing more heavily in local agriculture, community gardens, and sustainable farming, we can reduce our dependence on imported food. Every fruit grown locally, every vegetable harvested from our own land, and every fish caught sustainably in one less product that must travel across the ocean before reaching our dinner tables. Supporting local farmers also strengthens our economy. Instead of sending millions of dollars overseas to purchase imported foods, more of that money remains within our own communities, creating jobs, supporting local businesses, and increasing food security for future generations. The beast of inflation cannot be defeated overnight. There will always be global events beyond our control. Yet we can decide how vulnerable we choose to be. By strengthening local agriculture, supporting Pacific businesses, and reducing our dependence on imported goods, we begin to shrink the very beast that has burdened our families for so long. The Pacific has always been a region defined by resilience. Our ancestors crossed oceans with courage and ingenuity, building thriving communities with the resources around them. If they could overcome the vastness of the sea, surely we can overcome the challenges before us today. The beast may be daunting, but together, it is one we are capable of taming. This concludes my presentation. Malo Aupito.
Ms. Nuku'alofa, if you had an opportunity to advise the leaders on one policy to address inflation, what would it be and why?
Thank you so much for the question. So, if I had one policy that I could address to the leaders about inflation, it would have to be, instead of relying too much on imported goods from overseas, we can try to be out there and support our local businesses, especially here in Tonga. Being out here, so used to seeing, small shops, small local vendors on the side of the streets. It's really nice. So I think that could be one of my policies, or maybe an advice to leaders out there. You know, we have small business out there. Do what we can as Tongans or even a Pacific as a nation. Go out there and show support to them, you know. Show support to their business.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And yeah, inflation is something that we are all dealing with. My question is, if you were to become Miss Heilala and you were to use your platform, how would you, you were talking about the cost of living being very high and financial stuff. How would you be able to use your platform to educate families about financial literacy and other opportunities so that they can be financially resilient?
Thank you so much for that question. Well, if I were to be crowned Miss Heilala, the way that I would use my platform to spread awareness but also help educate those out there about inflation. So back home, well, for my work, I am a U.S. Navy service member. So what I would do with that platform, I would use my resources and my connects back home in the States, maybe could help do more connections out here with, you know, let's say the Tonga's Navy out here. We could help build maybe workshops, even training sessions, especially for financial literacy. So we can also help educate those families, even the youth, you know, to be aware and learn how they can know how to use resources correctly and maintain it in a really good way. So, yes, that's how I would use my platform.
Thank you.
Malo Pito.
Thank you. Contestant number 12 there, Miss Nuku'alofa Resort, Melelupe Ongosia Pitau Tongi. And of course, her topic of presentation was cost of living and inflation in the Pacific Islands. I now introduce contestant number 13, Miss Wawa'u Tourism 2026. We have Siutaisa Funaki, and her topic of presentation is on health.
I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Almighty in our midst, our guest of honor, our distinguished guest, and my fellow participant, and my beautiful people of Tonga. Today, I stand before you to speak on a topic celebrating our heritage and embracing our future in health, which involve each and every one of us, our family, our community, and the future of our beloved kingdom. In Tonga, we are blessed with rich tradition, strong faith, a deep sense of community. We celebrate life through food, gatherings, and culture. But today, we are also facing a quite challenge, one that is growing yet preventable. Many of our people are struggling with non-communicable disease, such as diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. These are not just statistics. These are our parents, our siblings, our children. But today, I do not stand here to focus on fear. I stand here to share hope and responsibilities. Health is not just about the absence of sickness. It is about how we live every single day, how we eat, how we move, how we care for our mind, and how we support one another. First, let us talk about nutrition. Our ancestors lived from the land and sea. They ate fresh fish, root crops like kumala and talo, fruits like mango, papaya, and pineapple like we have in Wawa'u. These foods are not only a part of our identity, they are a part of our solution. By returning to nature-balanced diets and reducing processed food, we can restore strength to our bodies and pride to our culture. Second, let us talk about physical activity. We do not need a gym to be healthy. In Tonga, movement is all around us. walking to church, working in plantation, dancing in celebration. When we move, we honor the body that God has given us. Even a simple daily activity can prevent illness and improve our quality of life. Third, we must not forget about mental and emotional health. Life today brings many pressures, financial struggles, expectation, and changes in our society. It is important that we speak openly, support one another, and find strength in our faith and family. True health includes peace of mind, not just physical strength. Taking a purposeful break or resting is an initial part of our health balanced life. Rest is not a sign of laziness. It is a vital physical and mental requirement. We are blessed to live in a country that has a law allowing us to rest on Sundays. This is not only a commandment from God, but it is also important to our health. Nowadays, many people suffer from health issues due to lack of rest and stress. And I would like to share a personal experience that I've lost one of my loved ones, which is my father. I know that he was a healthy, active, and a hardworking man. And he really loved us. And he would try his best to work every day to provide for our family. And I hardly see him have any time for himself. He hardly gets some rest. However, I learned that he often did not take enough time to rest. I share this because it made me realize how important it is to take care of our bodies by getting enough rest and maintaining balance in our lives. As a young woman of Tonga, I believe we have the power to inspire change. We can be role models for our family and our nation. We can choose healthier lifestyle, not just for ourselves, but for our loved ones and the generation to come. Imagine a Tonga where our children grow up strong and active, where our elders live longer and healthier. That Tonga is possible, and it begins with each and every one of us. Let us not wait for tomorrow. Let us start today with one healthy meal, one walk, one encouraging word, and proper rest. Small action create powerful changes. In closing, I would love to leave with you this message. When we take care of our health, we take care of our future. When we take care of ourselves, we take care of Tonga. And that's what we want, a happy, healthy Tonga in our future. Maloa pito, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Ms. Funaki, and for the emotional sharing that you did. I really like the fact that you mentioned that health is all about how we eat. You know, I always call it, we have to eat right. And also movements as well as resting. But you know, in the Tongan mentalities, resting is like sleeping all day. But that's not what we want. That would be very unhealthy. So as an ambassador of the Heilala Pageant 2026, how are you going to promote those definitions of being healthy
Thank you
throughout
so much.
the kingdom?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. Sorry, can I answer it in Tongan? If you don't mind. Iyo, ko tali whakauka tu peki ai, ko tui ko taha ngai whaunga te tau lawa i o whakaloto lahi, pe whamalohi o tau kai ngā Tonga, ke nau maa ngai mo ui lelei, ko e tau kamata pēr whanki step si he, o te tau holu ki tau manga la lahi tau tolu ia, hiku ke ilo pe te tau wao tau tolu ia ki he call ko tau fotu ke he, tau kamata pe whanki step ui, ki hange pen nau lawe ki mua heku speech, sorry. Iyo, ko tau whanki ngau e whakaaho, tene lawa toko ni ak tau tau ki tau mai ule lele he. Hange ko ki taftafi koi a tau ki tuwhi niu, o skawe tau koni ko ki ho tau mo ule lele he. Na ko ki vai pu ki au sia na every time na hanga yo se de ki kol ge ki whakaholo. Pa na lava ki Jimmy ko alge cardio o ai ki mi no ai. Pau aleva ki he weightlifting i. Pau hori au ka ki alo ka mata ya fangi tampela ko kilo i ki. Ala hike tampela ko kilo i wanima. O mena hoko ke na fasuk ni ma pa whakamosi a puke pa fok leva ki api ke te sia ke Jimmy o me ke ahoni. Kako ya ko fala le tau kamata ki be ke fema au ke tau tu to a fusumpa ho wa ta be tau kamata be fangi ngau e faka a ko ya tau api ko tu pela va to ko ni ke tau mo le lo pito.
Wavaulahi. Everything about Wavau is big. Just hopefully they follow the NCD policies. You can answer this in Tongan if you want. As we face, we're currently facing some of the highest rates on non-communicable diseases, like diabetes, obesity in the Pacific. As a national ambassador, or Ms. Heilala, contestant, what specific culturally respectful initiatives would you champion to encourage younger generation to embrace traditional Tongan diets and active lifestyles? We know that our Tongan traditional diets is quite hard, but, we've been blessed with all these ashes from the eruption and everything is lush now. So instead of buying expensive grapes and all those things in the market, there's local produce that we can use for our diet, right? And how would you do it? What would be your way of doing it to get our younger generation, me and Salote in our age group, me and Liz in our age group, to go back to that diet, to look fabulous until 80-year-old? 100. That too.
Pamalat pege fehui ko tokumai ko ki tari whakau kātou mo ki pōpō. Ko ilo peo ku whaingata ke tau whakahoko a ngai kai mo ilele I he to unga whapaanga u tau iai ko ngai koloa ku mamawha. Pea ko pōpō pe I o usai ange peke tau whoki ke tau I he taimi ko e taunga aki e te tau lava peo o ki whema ki tau ke mā ke tio kumang whangfui kā lepi mo whangfui strawberry pako a pere nusi la pālangi. O ku te tau lawa pa toa whangi fuluti fuai a kau I o taunga hi api hange koe lesi mo e whainā kona wai ki mua mo kore me ke kau wapau ka mausenia to mo whainā ifo. He I o te tau lawa pa toa whangi mea kai koni api lawa ke tau mao ke ko ngai vesta polo ko tau po ko lawa ke tau mao whangi foifua tau topi ho tau api pa lawa ke tau kai whaka aho mi ai ke te more a tau paanga I ka tau lawa o iyo. O toko anga e tau kai mosio o ku balance pe ai mea kotoa. Pako whakatoa he peki he tau tupu ke just to prevent ai hakwani tulo. Ai stroke, moi cancer, diabetes, moi umea pehe ke whakafuafua ai hifta paka o te mo kona, te mo wala ke ngai mea ko ia. Koe taimi ko te mo taofe ngai mea ko ia, lava ke mo toko ni I mo tolu, ke mo maha sino mo ilelei, pake ke mo matevave, ke mo tayang he, ka mo live younger, hange koko e Joe. Iyo, ke koe pe malo.
Miss Wawa'u Tourism, Siutai Safuna. Thank you very much. That's our 13th contestant. Now for our 14th contestant. It's Miss Tonga Tourist Association, Sepiuta Malamala. And I think her topic triggers all of everything that we're going to do. Mental health.
Whakatulo atu. Ko hoki ngoa ko se biuta malamala, ko e consistent whikataha whaau, o ko whawhawhonga e atu, ai Tonga Tourist Association. I ono aho, ka aloha tangata Tonga o tautai, o kune whaohange eskelea, i he ene kato whangota. Ka oho vale kuone matangia pe whaingata ia i oseni, o kune puhi ene nge eskelea, ko ui tokoni ki uta. Ko hono whakahao whi, e malawa peia e he iwi o e toko lahi o i uta. Ko e ko ka venga lea ki he ahoni, ko e mental health, pe ko e mo ui lelei whakaata mai. Ko ho tau toko lahi, o ku nā lolotonga matangia whakaata mai i waha. O ku nā puhi mai e nau nge eskele a, ke tau o ngona si e nau i toko ni. Ke tau kau whakataha mua ke pātolo aki ai mo ilelei au tau ngahi ata mai. He koe koloa whungania o klau kau aki e he tonga. Koe li pōti ai kau taha mo ui a mamani, WHO, o ku laka hake i he toko taha piliona ai kakai i mamani o kwheao, mo palpalema whakamo'i lelei o e ata mai. Ka i tongani, koe peseti pe e ono, o tau kakai o mo uai. Whakafofua ki he hono afe te au waunoa nai, pe ia toko hono afe te au waunoa ko ia, koe peseti e hiwa ono, pe mei toko hono afe ia, o ku te eki malawa, ke nau mau hatokoni, mi hatoke tā, pe tau ke i he malae o mo uilelei whakaata mai. Koe si kakai pe ene o tau whiohi waofi, whakaaho, koe tamai moe whae, koe kau taki o pule anga, kau taki lotu, kau ngau e whakapule anga, kau whakalele pisnisi, koe kau sipoti, koe si kakai o tōkanga mo whalehanga, koe si i whanau wako, pea kau ai mo ki taua, guta i heni he ahoni. O ku nau si i mawhasia, whakalongolongo pe. I o ka topa wanoa wanima, nai whakotu ai e tokta mapapuloka, mo pot ngau e mo ui atonga, a mental health, strategy and policy, ke tokanga e kina e mo ui lelei whakaiata mai ho tau kakai. Taim tatau, o toko lahi pe ni ihi o kai malawa, ke kumi tokoni, ke ngahi porokalama peheni. Ko iai, o ko whakotu whakaukau atu, ke tau mea ngawe, aki mua ho tau ngahi urunganga tu whanua, he ko tau hufanga anga, whika uruaki peia. O kange ni ko hawhae, moha ane pepe, ai uruaki whaiako pe ai whae, ki he pepe i api. Ko he whakaapa aki, pe mutual respect, ko he pou tulikia o e tau no whakatonga. O ku tau whakalongolongoi, ai mea lahi, ko he whakaapa ki ho tau ngahi kupu whekau aki. Ke tau te whakafotunga fo o mua, ai whakaapa aki, e tau whanau ki ati ki nau tolu, mo oua te tau whai whakamau. Pea tau tokai, mo malui ho tau ngongolelei. Ko he humility, pe anga whakaaki mui, ko e tau tuku ho tau kita, ka tau ngā unu, ke tuunga ta tau meni ihi koe ni. Ke tau talia mo tokanga e kina, pea oua te tau whakasiosio kehe, mo to'o maa pe ki nau tolu. Ko e uho o e tauhi waha a, ko e ikai ke mo ui whakafotui. Ko e si ikai haa, ko e si pe e te tokoni, ka aku te asi pe, he ne tokoni, ka aku ne maho inga ia. Ke tau whakaha mo whakahinohino ki he ni ihi koe ni, o ku tau iai maa ki nau tolu, mo fia, ke kau whakataha mau pe. Ko loyalty pe mamahi mea, o kune hai whakataha e tau tui whakariste ane, pe amoe loto ofa. O ku ikai ke tau teke i ani ihi koe ni, ka aku tau hake aki, mo whakamahino o iai ho nau ngeia, neongo e nau puputuu whakai atamai. Ko e ofa me honga ia ai tonga, o kune mo unga pe ki hono loto. Si kau whawhine Miss Heilala, ko e kau tala whekau ki tau tolu ki he kahau o tonga, ke tau whepopo waki mua e ngawe ake e whai ka vikoula, ko e kupenga ia ke tau lalanga aki, ke ne malu i e mo ui whakalelei whakai atamai ai tonga. Ko e si iongoe o e kele a, i mei he oseni, ko e tau tuu whakataha, kai mālohi ha whanua. He uke ha tulu tā, aonga ki he ha, Ka whakatahani tuluta e whonulewa aipuna. Malo au pito o whātu.
Thank you very much for your speech. Mental health is very real, and a lot suffer in silence. And we have many Tongans who suffer from this. What would you do as a Heilala ambassador to break the silence so that people aren't ashamed to come forward and say they seek help? Where they can go to as well.
Thank you for that question. In my opinion, is counseling. Counseling is very important for our youth. Ihe wanoa woa na e malolo ai e tahau ku ki Tonga ane. Ko e ku matatonu ia ihe puputuu, ko e taha ia mental health. Ko e mea pena e whai hau family, ko e lotu mo e tala noa. Counseling, it is a proven method of healing i he mental health. Ke kamata i he siasi mo e ako, ha mea pehe ke toko ni lahi ki he youth. Pe e paulewa ke enforce ai confidentiality, ke uhinga, ke open up ai Tonga, ke lava o vahe mai ai palopalema mental health, he koe uhi, he oku iai ai ni ihi a te tautolu, oku nau maa, e ke lava ke nau vahe mai e nau mental health. Mahalo koe pe, thank you.
Kamaro to Miss Malamala. Whakapunga i mai Tonga Tourist Association. Mako whiu whakaosi beni e tau programa. Ka koe topic maho inga uputa pēnei e uesia whakaiata mai. Peki ngata pe tau tupu, ka upehe pe mautaulu ka Heilala. Tok tau tok si tu adin, tok laban hata e wha tau si tu atu mei he COVID. Pea moe pāko na mau ngā awhi, hunga Tonga, ngā apai. Ko sektoa na uesia lahi taha ai, ko sektoa tak mamata. Na e toa pese te tolungo fulu, he ngahi pisnisi, he ngahi pea ua tsunami. Pea okulahi, he tau sio ka ngahi pisnisi, koni sio peke ata pisnisi, ka ki mui he ngahi pisnisi, koe kakaipe he. Koe ha, au whakaukau ki ha ngahi tokoni ai pure anga, ki he ngahi pisnisi, tada pisis tak mamata ka toi hoka whakatamaki pehe i ngahi tūnga ke tokon gani ai ta whaakuna ka whaata mai. Malo.
Malo, Pito. Koe tokoni pe o ko whakaukau ki ai ke kole ki he pule anga i kai ke ngata pe i tongani ka i he otumotu, i wawau e ua hongoniua moha apai, ke whakotuu hangahi polokalama, pe ko ha project uhinga ke taimiko oku hoko mai ang hatoi whaingata a, oku osi i aipe ai ngahi project i he i tongani mo ngahi otumotu. Maha koe pe malo.
And that rounds up our presentations for the 14 contestants for this hour. We had the Miss Tonga Tourist Association, Sepiuta Malamala, and her topic was on mental health. While the judges and scrutineers tally and round up things, how about that? We've all been enlightened on 14 powerful topics, issues that are current in Tonga and the world. And our beautiful contestants today have poured their hearts and souls into research and also into preparing, sharing your personal experiences and presenting them. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, and for those of you watching, this is no easy task, presenting on a national platform and being judged. That's no small task at all. So once again, let's give a clap to our 14 contestants. This has taken courage, discipline, and their loto i Tonga to come through. So to all our Heilala 2026 contestants, malo au pito for braving your presentations today and also the interviews. You've made us all here proud. You've made your families proud, your sponsors, your supporters. You've made Tonga and Tongans worldwide proud of you today. Malo au pito. As we come towards the end, we'd like to once again acknowledge the Supreme, Elite, and Platinum sponsors who have made Heilala 2026 happen. Our Supreme sponsors, the Government of Tonga and Fiji Airways.
We'd also like to thank our elite sponsors, the MBF Bank, Tanoa International Dayline Hotel, BSB Bank, Chinese Embassy, New Zealand High Commission, Wehoko Arts, Tonga Statistic Department, 5 Star, and New City.
Our platinum sponsors, we have Digicel, Lion Liquor, Tonga Cold Store, Friends Cafe, Tonga National Reserve Bank, and the Australian High Commission.
Malo. We would just like to remind our audience for this evening's program. The second judging event is the Ta'olunga competition. This evening at 7 p.m. at the Atere Indoor Stadium. Also, we have already started the voting for the Miss Internet. Voting for Miss Internet. It's on the Heilala PrePageant, Miss Heilala PrePageant 2026 Facebook page. It's already started. You can like, love, reaction. Reaction counts for any of these girls you support. The voting will be closed this Friday, 12 p.m. So get those fingers running, vote, like, and all, react to your favorite miss.
Just reminding you all, when the announcement of the top 5 for the pre-pageant interview happens after this in a few minutes' time when the scrutineers come through, the top 5 is in no particular order. And also we will take this top 5, add it together with the final interviews on Friday evening, and that will really round up where the interview sits, just so that you have a fair understanding of that. And while we await that, we would like to acknowledge our panel of judges for today, our chair lady, Mishka Tuifua, and also our first judge for today, Joey Mataele, and I stand corrected. Joey is so humble to say we're of the same age group. He's much younger than I. So thank you very much, Joey, for continuing over the years. We also have Liz Sullivan and Viliami Takao, Verna Nuku'alofa, and Atolomake Helu. A round of applause for our panel of judges. Once again, we would also just like to acknowledge in our midst, the gratitude is never ending to our Miss Heilala, Sosiana Taumoepeau. Once again, Sosiana, and also we have Miss Pacific with us. Thank you once again for joining us for Heilala 2026. And every year we are fortunate for the support of our 2 banks, MBF and also BSP, always coming through as scrutineers for our Heilala Week. And this year we have Mr. Niroshan Desanyak from the MBF and also Peteli Vailea from BSP Bank. Thank you very much to the 2 banks for coming through. And also we would like to acknowledge all our sponsors. This year is unique, not only historic because of the year, the bicentennial anniversary, but also we've seen the numbers grow in comparison to past years. So hopefully it's a good sign of Heilala and more to come of it, that this year we have 14 participants, Melialau.
Thank you, Salote. Now, you just relax and enjoy. We just wait for our scrutineer to finalize those contestants. Just the top 5. Like Salote mentioned, it's in no particular order. It's just the top 5. I go for ito nima tuki mu apen be heni avea ki he mate to tana ki whakataha ia pe mo stage interview ko he whawhalaite pe to ki whakatoa ia ko pare ia ki interview. I go to nima ko ni ko ko raktol whani maen ko to nima pe.
Also reminding for this week, whether you're present in Tonga or those that are watching us and joining us from overseas, we'd like to acknowledge the platforms that are being used or the live streams that are coming through, especially for Radio and Television Tonga and Broadcom, our main 2 live broadcasts that are carrying through, and also just our Tongan diaspora, whether in Tonga or the Tongans overseas actually. Thank you for coming through and supporting year by year. I think the events to come that throughout the week we've got our sarong wear, we've got our tau'olunga this evening, we also have talent, the island wear, and of course this year we're going to take it back to past years like the ball, and I know the pageant director, festival director, the minister himself, he's put in his own touch into a waltz and ball and whatnot, so there's a lot to be expected this week. Coming through, and that's exciting, Melialau.
Yes. Very exciting, and looking forward to being with you this week at the programs of the Miss Heilala. Yeah, we're still waiting.
I think that's a good sign. As we're waiting for the scrutineers, it's the hard job that they've done in terms of coming through with the points and everything. And as we see, it's come through to our head judge in terms of being particularly ready with our marks there. Stay with us. We have our top 5. Again, it's in no particular order whatsoever. And as we awaited the scores to come through, this also reflects the hard job that had gone into the judges and being able to judge the presentations, and also tallying of the marks and being passed over to the scrutineers. Thank you very much. She's ready. As our contestants are ready for the announcement of the top 5, I'd like to once again acknowledge you individually and also your supporters, your village behind you, a lot of work, and just seeing you all throughout the preparations. I'd like to acknowledge you all, the efforts, and still braving the smiles out there. You've gone through a lot throughout the past week, the rehearsals, the long rehearsals, so thank you girls, still being able to brave the smiles at this hour. And we have here our results. And the results in terms of, once again, it's in no particular order, but this will be the top 5 of our interview for this hour, which will be added with the final interview, and then from there, the latest or the last results will be named. In no particular order, our top 5 for the pre-pageant interview, we have with us, can I please call on stage Miss SNS USA.
Miss SNS USA 2026, Lava Lava e Kakala Himoa, Regional Heda Esau.
Also in the top 5 for the pre-pageant interview, we have Miss Masani Connect, Ministry of Tourism.
Miss Masani Connect, Ministry of Tourism, Teki Whaiva, I Hakau Tuitawake.
The top 5 also includes Miss Aproxis New Zealand 2026.
Miss Aproxis New Zealand 2026, Kathleen Monica Soana, via Tangitau.
Also in the top 5, we have Miss Lady Maria Tonga Australia.
Miss Lady Maria Tonga Australia, Siria Sitoafa Matelau.
And last of the top 5 for the pre-pageant interview 2026, we have Miss Vava'u Tourism.
Miss Vava'u Tourism 2026, Siutaisa Funaki.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, our top 5 for the pre-pageant interview for this hour. I'd like to, the girls, you could do your wave. Okay. But also this hour, we acknowledge all the 14 participants and contestants who have put through your time and energy in terms of presentation. I ask you, ladies, you can take your seat. Malo pito.
Ko toko ni mana ko tenau kunau whiri he tau kau whamau. Toko ni matu ki mo ai he tau pre-pageant interview.
And that, Melia Lau, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, contestants, judges, everyone present here, and those of you that are joining us, that brings us to the end of our first judging event for the Heilala Pageant 2026. What a beautiful start to this week. And we hope you enjoyed meeting our Heilala beauties through their presentations and interviews. And we've truly set the tone, and we can't wait to see the variety of talent that they'll showcase in the coming days. Just once again, a gentle reminder and invitation. Please join us again 7 p.m. this evening at Atele Indoor Stadium for our second judging event, which is the Ta'olonga competition. Come support, come celebrate, and bring that Tongan pride with you. The grace was said at the beginning of the program, so from here, may we all have a pleasant and blessed rest of the day until we see you this evening. Tu'au fatu, and see you all tonight. We done? We done. So now I think they'll be taking photos, official photos for the Miss Heilala, but the program is officially over. Malo.
So you can just relax and enjoy. Karaoke?